I've not even started this video and I've already had enough. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I finished it. I finished 50 Shades of Grey Part 2 for you because you all voted that in the poll. So here you go. I hope you enjoy it because I sure didn't. Obligatory self-promo before we get into this. Make sure you like, dislike, comment for the engagement, subscribe. We're trying to get to 200k here. Subscribe to the podcast channel. We're trying to get to 10k over there. And that's all, so let's get on with it. But before we get into that, today's video is sponsored by Undead World Hero Survival. Do you like staying alive and killing zombies? Well, do I have the game for you? Friendship ended with The Walking Dead. Now Undead World is my best friend. Undead World is a free-to-play RPG zombie apocalypse game. Right here, inside your phone, you can kill zombies and stuff. You can fight zombies, you can fight other survivors, you can fight your parents, you can fight whoever with this game. You can join guilds participating in raids to earn rewards. Or if you're like me and you don't like anyone else, you can do the solo campaign as well. Sit down, relax, let me show you some things. This is my profile, Alizee. You can add me on there, I'm level 11 because I am a top tier gamer. I have no friends, but I choose it to be that way, and I will do a little battle on the campaign. Here's my team. My favourite is the crazy scientist and the guy with the big bat. And look at them go. I barely need to work at all. Living the dream. Check out my heroes so far. Tyler, he is epic. And there's also mini games. Try taking the Zombie Express, where you can fight off horde after horde of zombie. It's like Train to Busan, but even better. Look at that, I just got a new high score. I didn't even have to do anything. Oh no, I died. Also important to mention, you can battle other players in the arena using the Raging Rumble, exclusively for high-ranking heroes, and they add new heroes and events regularly. Don't worry if you missed the New Year's challenge, the new event, Astra's Secret Lab, starts in a few days. So what are you waiting for? Download Undead World today and kill some zombies. New players will get 1,000 free diamonds. Plus, if you download and play Undead World Hero Survival using the link below or scan the QR code on the screen and enter the promo code, you can get an additional 500 free diamonds. Thank you so much to Undead World Hero Survival for sponsoring today's video. Without further ado, Chapter 15. Christian arrives at Anna's. "Hi," he says, and his face lights up with his radiant smile. I take a moment to admire the pretty. Oh my, he's hot in leather. Oh my, George Takei. Christian brings champagne and Anna is nervous. If you don't know what I'm doing right now, please go watch the first one. The first video I did on the first part of 50 Shades. It gets worse. I hated this, but you'll see probably in 2 hours time. I head into the kitchen. Nervous, butterflies flooding my stomach. It's like having a panther or a mountain lion, all unpredictable and predatory in my living room. Predatory, interesting use of words there. So, if you remember, Christian bought Anna some books, but not just any books, first editions costing something like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, who cares, he's a billionaire, whatever. And Anna has packed the books and she wants to return them to Christian because she has morals or something, I don't know. When I return, he's staring at the brown parcel of books. I place the cups on the table. "That's for you." That's for you, I murmur anxiously. Crap, this is probably going to be a fight. A plea for me to go easy on you? I nod. "I bought these for you," he says quietly. "I bought these for you," he says quietly, his gaze impassive. "I'll go easier on you if you accept them." I swallow convulsively. Sorry. He always sounds like he's going to wear her spleen for a hat though, doesn't he? "You see, this is what I was talking about, you defying me. I want you to have them, and that's the end of the discussion. It's very simple. You don't have to think about this. As a submissive, you would just have to be grateful for them. You just accept what I buy you because it pleases me for you to do so." "I wasn't a submissive when you bought them for me," I whisper. "No, ... But you've agreed, Anastasia." His eyes turn wary. Imagine getting this controlling over books. I hate him. Anna decides, fine, I'll give them to a charity to auction them off then. And then, the proceeds can go to there's a charity auction. I'm sure you know what a charity auction is. Because the books are so expensive. If that's what you want to do. His mouth sets into a hard line. He's disappointed. I flush. "I'll think about it," I murmur. I don't want to disappoint him. And his words come back to me. "I want you to want to please me. Don't think, Anastasia, not about this. His tone is quiet and serious. So he'd rather not give money to charity because his pathetic ego is somehow bruised. So insecure for a billionaire. How can I not think? You can pretend to be a car like his other possessions. My subconscious makes an unwelcome, vitriolic return. I ignore her. Oh, can't we rewind? The atmosphere between us now is tense. I don't know what to do. I stare down at my fingers. How do I retrieve this situation? Dump him, babes. Hey, stop this, he commands softly, cupping my chin again and pulling at it gently so I release my lower lip from my teeth. There is nothing about you that is cheap, Anastasia. I won't have you thinking that. I just bought you some old books that I thought might mean something to you. That's all. Have some champagne. Yes, drink so your inhibitions are lowered so I can be more tolerable. So at this point I googled the champagne they're drinking and it's only £159. You couldn't even get a bottle of wine at Salt Bay's restaurant for that amount. Maybe Christian isn't as rich as he says he is. They talk of Anna's stepfather. How did you know he liked fishing? You told me when we went for coffee. Oh, did I? I take another sip. Wow, he has a memory for detail. I feel like this is another detail that only really means anything if he's still a vampire. Because otherwise it's just pretty irrelevant. You know, because vampires are usually super smart and remember things, or in the Twilight universe anyway, they're super duper smart, so just irrelevant otherwise. Christian rises gracefully and collects the bottle. He fills my cup. Is he getting me tipsy? I eye him suspiciously. Yes, run. They are making small talk about Anna's move. It's not very interesting to read, so I shan't repeat it here. He laughs. Obtuse? Me? God, you're challenging. Drink up. Let's talk about these limits. He fishes out another copy of my email and the list. Yes, get nice and drunk so we can discuss your soft limits for BDSM. And I can find it easier to manipulate you. What is E.L. James's damage? Have you eaten anything? Oh no, not this old chestnut. I've just realised, not that old chestnut. Isn't that quite a British thing to say? Oh, this old chestnut. Do the Americans say this? Because I feel like it's a very British saying and these people are meant to be American, but obviously E.L. James is British. So, yes, I had a 3-course meal with Ray. I roll my eyes at him. The champagne is making me bold. He leans forward and holds my chin, staring intently into my eyes. Next time you roll your eyes at me, I will take you across my knee. Yes, don't have any personality or semblance of disagreeing with me, otherwise I will physically hurt you. But of course, Anna finds this hot because, Charlie, she's a nitwit. He fills my cup and I drink practically all of it. What could possibly go wrong? They go through the limits. They agree to no fisting. Anal intercourse doesn't exactly float my boat. I'll agree to the fisting, but I'd really like to claim your ass, Anastasia, but we'll wait for that. Besides, it's not something we could dive into. He smirks at me. Your ass will need training. Fuck off. She said she doesn't want to. Not in really direct terms, hard no terms, because she knows that Christian doesn't react well to being told no. But he's like, nah, forget that. Don't mind your reservations. We'll just do it anyway. I hate this book. Oh yes, it'll need careful preparation. Sounds like he's talking about roasting a chicken. Anal intercourse can be very pleasurable, trust me. But if we try it and you don't like it, we don't have to do it again. He grins down at me. I blink up at him. What is the height difference between those two? He grins down at me. I blink up at him. He thinks I'll enjoy it. How does he know it's pleasurable? Christian says he's had anal done to him by Mrs. Robinson. You remember the nonce from before? Yeah, her. Holy shit. How? I frown. He moves down the list. Anna doesn't even know that pegging exists. She's not ready for any of this. Stop. And swallowing semen. Well, you get an A in that. Worst school ever. I flush and my inner goddess smacks her lips together, glowing with pride. Smacks her lips together. My inner goddess is furious. My inner goddess could beat your inner goddess up. Just saying. They talk toys. Christian laughs at Anna. Anna gets snappy. He says sorry. Anastasia, he cajoles. I am sorry. Believe me. Believe me, smile loan of $1 million. I don't mean to... Sorry, that was an awful impression, wasn't it? Believe me, I know the best anal beat. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I've never had this conversation in so much detail. You're just so inexperienced. I'm sorry. His eyes are big and grey and sincere. I'm not even like writing comments. I'm just writing the words grr in capitals. Grrrr. Right, bondage, he says, returning to the list. I examine the list and my inner goddess bounces up and down like a small child waiting for ice cream? Huh? And with that sentence, I officially declare Anastasia, far too immature to be discussing this type of stuff. Don't laugh at me, but what's a spreader bar? I promise not to laugh. I've apologized twice. He glares at me. Don't make me do it again, he warns. And I think I visibly shrink. Oh, he's so bossy. Why did he just get so snappy? Over a question? Red flag? Okay, well, gagging me, I'd be worried I won't be able to breathe. I'd be worried if you couldn't breathe. Oh, it's not a fucking competition, mate. Chill out. I don't want to suffocate you. And how will I use safe words if I'm gagged? He pauses. First of all, I hope you never have to use them. But if you're gagged, we'll use hand signals, he says simply. I blink up at him. But if I'm trussed up, how's that going to work? My brain is beginning to fog. Alcohol. See? This is his ulterior motive in getting her drunk, so she's not thinking clearly about this stuff. You don't like talking about that, I murmur. No, I don't. Would you like another drink? It's making you brave, and I need to know how you feel about pain. Knob head. They talk about pain. He shows me the list. My subconscious runs screaming and hides behind the couch. How is anyone made to take Anna seriously or even find this book sexy with sentences like that? Well, you said no to genital clamps. That's fine. It's caning that hurts the most. I blanch. We can work up to that. Or not do it at all, I whisper. This is part of the deal, baby, but we'll work up to all of this. Anastasia, I won't push you too far. I'm so mad at this that at the time of writing it made my stomach hurt. If I get a stomach ulcer, I'm suing E.L. James. She says she doesn't want to do it. Or let's just not do it at all. She's not comfortable with it. And he's just always like, nah, forget that and your feelings. Let's just work up to it. Trust me, I'm not going to hurt you. Well, I'm glad you've told me. We'll keep caning off the list for now. And as you get more comfortable with everything else, we'll increase intensity. We'll take it slow. What did I write here? I kid you not, as I read this part, I looked out the window to see a pigeon trying to jump and peck at another pigeon, which kept trying to fly away. And if that's not an accurate metaphor for this book, I don't know what is. Well then, look, earlier today you were talking about wanting more. He halts, uncertain all of a sudden. Oh my, where's this going? Oh my. Outside of the time you're my sub, perhaps we could try. I don't know if it will work. I don't know about separating everything. It may not work, but I'm willing to try. Maybe one night a week. I don't know. Holy cow. My mouth drops open. My subconscious is in shock. Christian Grey is up for more. He's willing to try. My subconscious peeks out from behind the couch, still registering the shock on her harpy face. Wow. One night a week, he will treat her like a human being and not like a living fleshlight. Swoon. Sign me up. Also, look guys, see, it just takes the right sort of woman to change a man. That is the function of women, to make men better, to exist solely to change them. I have one condition. He looks warily at my stunned expression. What? I breathe. Anything. I'll give you anything. You graciously accept my graduation present to you. Oh, and deep down I know what it is. Dread spawns in my gut. Why does she have such an aversion to receiving gifts? Did Bella Swan have the same quirk, for lack of a better word? I don't remember. Is it just because Christian is a billionaire, so she feels like she's a sugar baby? I don't answer the question because I literally don't care. Christian bought her a whole new car. Some flowers were sufficed, but okay. He bought me a damned car, brand new by the looks of it. Jeez, I've had enough trouble with the books. I stare at it blankly, trying desperately to determine how I feel about this. I'm appalled on one level, grateful on another, shocked that he's actually done it, but the overriding emotion is anger. Yes, I'm angry, especially after everything I told him about the books, but then he'd already bought this. Taking my hand, he leads me down the path to this new acquisition. I mentioned it to your stepfather. He was all for it, he murmurs. Turning, I glare at him, my mouth open in horror. You mentioned this to Ray? How could you? I can barely spit the words out. How dare he? Poor Ray. I feel sick, mortified for my dad. It's a gift, Anastasia. Can't you just say thank you? I hate men like this in fiction who they're just rich, so they go around doing what they want, never being actually challenged by it. And Anna's just being seen as ungrateful because she doesn't want to accept these ridiculous presents. Anyway, this little tirade ends very quickly as soon as it starts because Anna remembers that Christian grew up in poverty and somehow remembering that makes her change her mind about receiving the car as a gift. Fuck if I know either, get a grip. Anna says she will accept the car on loan and then they make out. I hope the new car comes to life a la Christine and runs them both over. It's taken all my self-control not to fuck you on the hood of this car right now, just to show you that you are mine, and if I want to buy you a fucking car, I'll buy you a fucking car, he growls. Now let's get you inside and naked. He plants a swift, rough kiss on me. Boy, he's angry. My narration's horrible. Imagine if this was on Audible and people paid money to listen to this. Boy, he's angry, am I right? He grabs my hand and leads me back into the apartment and straight into the bedroom. No passing go. My subconscious is behind the sofa again, head hidden under her hands. He switches on the side light and halts, staring at me. Please don't be angry with me, I whisper. His gaze is impassive, his eyes cold shards of smoky glass. I'm sorry about the car and the books, I trail off. He remains silent and brooding. You scare me when you're angry, I breathe, staring at him. How does this make it past an editor, a publisher, and God knows who else? Anna gets scared of Christian when he's mad or in a mood swing because she thinks he's going to hurt her. That's not someone who wants to engage in BDSM, and being scared that you're going to get hurt if your partner gets mad at you for whatever fucking arbitrary reason he's justified in his head isn't BDSM either. It's just abuse. Another mercurial mood swing. It's so hard to keep up. Maybe Mercury is in retrograde and that's the true cause of all of his tantrums. Christian gives Anna a good sniff, again leading more evidence to my theory that he's just a German shepherd wrapped up in a human skin suit, and then he licks her shoulders. He murmurs into that space behind my ear as he starts to extend my nipples with his long finger. He starts to extend my nipples with his long fingers, mirroring my hands in his hair. Is this just a fancier way of saying that he's pinching her nipples with his slender man fingers? The straights. I can say this because I am straight, but the straights are at it again. What does that even mean? Extending my nipples. What horrible, with his long fingers, what horrible imagery. It makes me feel like, you know when you're making bread and the dough is, you've let it rise and you knead it again, and you can like pinch the dough between your fingers and pull it and stretch it. That's the imagery I'm getting, like extending my nipples, and then the nipples are like strands of spaghetti. I feel his grin against my neck as his hands move down my hips. His fingers hook into my panties at the back, stretching them, and he pushes his thumbs through the material, shredding them and tossing them in front of me so I can see. Holy shit. He just rips up her underwear. So inconsiderate. Doesn't matter that he's a billionaire and he could buy her 100 pairs of underwear and it wouldn't make a dent in his bank account. Doesn't matter. It's still annoying. Imagine if I came to your house, made a cup of tea, and then smashed the teacup. Doesn't matter if I buy you a new one. Isn't it annoying that I've just smashed up one of your possessions? What if those were her favourite pair of underwear? What if she harboured a weird emotional attachment to them? Honestly, I've had enough. Billionaires think that they can just go around doing whatever they want, ripping up your underwear, and the worst part is we let them. There's no repercussions for them because we let them do it. I've had enough. This is metaphorical. We are all Anna in this situation. Unless you're Elon Musk and you're watching this. In which case, stay away from my knicker drawer. Anyway, he puts his finger inside her and pretends she's a puppet and then puts on a puppet show. He tells her to undress him but keep the t-shirt on because he hates being touched for reasons I really don't give a shit about. He tells her she can be in charge, so she starts tugging on his pubic hair like a medieval priest ringing a church bell. I don't know what I was thinking when I was writing this stuff either. Anna gets out the condoms from his pocket and there's 2 of them, which excites her. Wow, the number 2. I've never heard of such a number. Don't let her go down the contraceptive aisle in boots. She'll have a mad one. Holy Moses, he's all mine to play with and suddenly it's Christmas. Look, don't bring Moses into this. He's got enough shit to deal with. I would rather walk the desert for 40 years than be in this book. Also, Moses has nothing to do with Christmas, so know your Bible lore. Anyway, she begins to suck him off so hard that Henry the Hoover would retire, but Christian wants her to stop so they can have sex. My inner goddess looks like someone snatched her ice cream. What is this insistence of giving us this really childish imagery alongside sex scenes? It's weird. She puts a condom on him and they bang like the 4th of July. They bang like my head does against the wall after 1 chapter of this shit. Chapter 16. Do you know why these reviews take so long? Because I get fed up every page or so and just start Googling random shit. I've just been reading up on black holes. This is quite unhinged. These are a serious problem. Why is no one doing anything about black holes? Just whizzing around, sucking things up, sending stars off to the event horizon. Something something singularity. We should nuke them. But what if the radiation just made them angrier and more powerful than ever before? God help us. God help me. I was clearly suffering right there. Anna is lying on Christian and touches his chest above his t-shirt, and he stops her. No touching in my Christian bedroom. There better be a backstory that's actually interesting to justify the amount of times it's mentioned that he doesn't like being touched mysteriously. Spoiler alert, it doesn't come out in this book. Why don't you like to be touched? I whisper, staring up into his soft grey eyes. Because I'm 50 shades of fucked up, Anastasia. Give me a break, stop vague booking. I cock my head to one side like he does. Oh no, it's contagious. She's turning into a German Shepherd too. At least German Shepherds are cute, unlike this nonsense. Miss Steele, you are not just a pretty face. You've had 6 orgasms so far and all of them belong to me, he boasts, playful again. I flush and blink at the same time. As he stares down at me. He's keeping count. His brow furrows. Of course he's keeping count. He doesn't have any other fucking hobbies or interests. Anna admits that she had a wet dream and Christian glares at her. Fuck off. She had a wet dream about him, by the way. It's not like, oh, I had a wet dream about Mr. Blobby. It's not like she's having a wet dream about some kind of male competition for him. She had a wet dream about him. And he's getting jealous of... God knows. I throw my arm over my eyes again, and like a small child, I briefly entertain the thought that if I can't see him, then he can't see me. She's so mentally immature, I'm sure that this book counts as a felony in at least 50 states. Christian demands that Anna sorts out contraception so he doesn't have to wear condoms anymore. I shake my head. We are back to mergers and acquisitions, another 180-degree mood swing. I'm into, well, murders and executions mostly. Christian moves to leave. I can drive you. I have a lovely new car. He gazes at me, his expression warm. That's more like it, but I think you've had too much to drink. Did you get me tipsy on purpose? Yes. Why? Because you overthink everything and you're reticent like your stepdad. A drop of wine in you and you start talking, and I need you to communicate honestly with me. Otherwise you clam up and I have no idea what you're thinking. In vino veritas, Anastasia. What a load of crap. He deliberately got her drunk to manipulate her. Also, Mr. I hate drugs, I am strictly anti-drug, admitting to getting someone else drunk. The cognitive dissonance between people and alcohol is mildly infuriating, to be honest. Alcohol is a drug. It is one of the most lethal drugs. If it were discovered now, it would be assigned to a Class A category. The hypocrisy, and I'm assuming complete ignorance on the author's behalf, is infuriating. Just because it's legal doesn't mean shit. Legality does not equal morality or ethics or whatever. Also, just gonna jump off my high horse for a second, jump on a different high horse. Also, consent. Manipulating a drunk person when you are sober, because he said that he's got her drunk, right, on purpose, means they can't fully give their consent. And he is preying on this under some fucking nonsense in vino veritas, in wine truth. I need you to communicate honestly with me. What a load of crap. They have some cringy back and forth, and then Anna rolls her eyes and he's like, right, that's it, come here, bend over. His voice is so soft, menacing, and it's damned hot. My insides practically contort with potent, needy, liquid desire. He gazes at me, waiting, eyes blazing. Tentatively, I uncurl my legs. Should I run? This is it. Our relationship hangs in the balance, right here, right now. Do I let him do this, or do I say no, and then that's it? My God, why does this sound like Carrie Bradshaw wrote this? Because I know it will be over if I say no. Do it, my inner goddess pleads with me, and my subconscious is as paralyzed as I am. This story is trying so hard to have stakes and have a plot and have some severity to it that we're meant to give a shit about. But I don't care about their relationship, and I don't see any good reason for anyone else to care about it either. He places his hand on my naked behind, softly fondling me, stroking around and around with his flat palm, and then his hand is no longer there, and he hits me, hard. Ow! My eyes spring open in response to the pain, and I try to rise, but his hand moves between my shoulder blades, keeping me down. Oh. She tries to rise, so assuming to get away, but his hand moves between my shoulder blades to keep me down. That's not good luck, is it? He caresses me again where he's hit me and his breathing's changed. It's louder, harsher. He hits me again and again quickly in succession. Holy fuck, it hurts. I make no sounds, my face screwed up against the pain. I try to wriggle away from the blows, spurred on by adrenaline spiking and coursing through my body. He's rubbing me now and the blow follows. A rhythmic pattern emerges. Caress, fondle, hard slap. I have to concentrate to handle this pain. My mind empties as I endeavour to absorb the grueling sensation. He doesn't hit me in the same place twice in succession. He's spreading the pain. Oh, I cry out on the 10th slap, and I'm unaware that I've been mentally counting the blows. I'm just getting warmed up. And he hits me again and again. From somewhere deep inside, I want to beg him to stop, but I don't. I don't want to give him the satisfaction. He continues the unrelenting rhythm. I cry out 6 more times, 18 slaps in total. My body is singing from his merciless assault. She's not enjoying this in the slightest. She tried to get away. She tried to rise up, but he held her there. I don't want to hear anyone being like, oh, safe word. She's inexperienced. She has never even used safe words. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. And on top of that, she's drunk. I hate this book so fucking much. So she's not enjoying it in the slightest, but she is wet. Feel this. See how much your body likes this, Anastasia. You're soaking just for me. There is awe in his voice. He moves his fingers in and out in quick succession. I groan, no, surely not, and then his fingers are gone and I'm left wanting. The author is trying to tell us here that, oh no, Anna actually does like it. She's turned on. Her body likes it, even though her mind is saying no. I'm so mad. Firstly, she's in close proximity to Gray. She literally gets wet just by looking at him. Doesn't mean anything that she's wet right now. Doesn't mean anything. I don't care that, she's aroused in quotations. She clearly did not enjoy the pain. She did not enjoy being spanked. It's fairly black and white by the text. We will expand upon this point later on. They both jizz. Yawn. They don't yawn, I'm yawning. Then Christian starts negging her. He picks up the strap on my camisole. Is this what you sleep in? He asks gently. Yes, I breathe sleepily. You should be in silks and satins, you beautiful girl. I'll take you shopping. I like my sweats, I murmur, trying and failing to sound irritated. He kisses my head again. We'll see, he says. Let her chill in sweatpants, you weirdo, you Tory, you don't even know. Go away. I remember him saying, I can't remember when, that I would feel so much better after a good hiding. How can that be so? I really don't get it, but strangely, I do. I can't say that I enjoyed the experience. In fact, I would still go a long way to avoid it, but now I have this safe, weird, bathed in afterglow, sated feeling. I put my head in my hands, I just don't understand. That is literally just oxytocin. Ignore it. It's just pair bonding chemicals. Because you've had sex and you've both orgasmed and you're cuddling. Nothing to do with her being spanked. Christian rubs oil on her butt. I watch him walk down the path and climb into the big black Audi. He doesn't look back. I close the door and stand helpless in the living room of an apartment that I shall only spend another 2 nights in. A place I've lived happily for almost 4 years. Yet today, for the first time ever, I feel lonely and uncomfortable here, unhappy with my own company. Have I strayed so far from who I am? I know that lurking, not very far under my rather numb exterior, is a well of tears. What am I doing? The irony is that I can't even sit down and enjoy a good cry. I'll have to stand. I know it's late, but I decide to call my mum. Definitely a green flag if you feel like crying after shagging a bloke. She decides to call her mother and begins crying. Please, Anna, she says, and her anguish reflects mine. Oh, mum, it's a man. What's he done to you? Her alarm is palpable. It's not like that, although it is. Oh, crap. I don't want to worry her. I just want someone else to be strong for me at the moment. Right, so although it is ... is in italics. She is linking being spanked with being abused because that is how she feels. She is not suitable for BDSM. This book is driving me crazy. Oh darling, I wish I could be with you. I am so sorry I missed your graduation. You've fallen for someone finally. Oh honey, men, they are tricky. They're a different species, honey. How long have you known him? What babble? No, they're not a different species. They're just us, but with other bits. You know, in utero, before the baby decides to be male or female, or anywhere in between, or whatever, I'm not going to get on my hippie shit. We're all one and the same. We all are one and the same. We're just different we're different expressions of the same goopy stuff that crawled out of those single-celled organisms that crawled out of the lava all those fucking millions of years ago, and now I have to have a job and pay for bills. Puh, had enough. Sorry. It's tricky if you overthink it, but if a guy tells you they are bad news and to stay away from them, take it at face value. Anytime, personal anecdote, a guy that I've been interested in has said that, you know, they're bad news, they're up to no good, they're not a good person to try and date or whatever, they've always fulfilled that prophecy. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Take it at face value. Believe them. Most of the men I know, however, the majority of my close friends are boys, most of them are fairly simple creatures. They won't mind me saying that. They are. My best friend once ate 8 Cadbury mini rolls in one go because it made him happy. Simple people, simple pleasures. Like, goes without saying, I'm not generalising and I'm not somehow being sexist if you really want to reach that far. Most people enjoy like their simple pleasures regardless of gender. A lot of situations can be quite black and white too, can be quite simple. I think the brain just overcomplicates a lot of situations because, let's be real, a lot of people do enjoy drama and having drama in their lives. Even if they say they don't enjoy it, a lot of them kind of do because it makes them feel that their lives are more interesting. That's what's going on here. It's like the r/relationships subreddit. A lot of the problems on there can simply be solved by just like people splitting up and going their separate ways. What I'm trying to say here is just dump Christian. He is too cringe. Men are tricky. They're a different species. They're really not. They're not like this mysterious, the other, ooh, scary, can't work them out, alien species. No, the problem with a lot of people is lack of open communication. That's the problem. Just spitting it out. Just saying, look, stop fucking around. Do you want to date or do you not? Okay, see you later, mate. Obviously, I know it's like never like that easy, but sometimes it kind of is. Wow, it's unnerving when my mother is so insightful, but she's just too late on this. Is he worthy of me? That's an interesting concept. I always wonder whether I am worthy of him. Based on what? Because he's a billionaire? That's hardly a moral barometer. Get a life. Honey, you sound so unhappy. How did E.L. James write this and not realise what she was actually writing? If the point was that Christian is a shit and this relationship is unhealthy and bad and neither of them should be in this relationship, then all right, fine. But this is meant to be a romance. A saucy romance, no less. Kate returns home. Has that obscenely rich fucker upset you again? No, sort of. Yes. Just time to take a hike, Anna. You've been so up and down since you met him. I've never seen you like this. The world of Catherine Kavanagh. It's an Irish surname, isn't it? I saw a comment saying it was an Irish surname. Let's see how to pronounce it. Kavanagh, apparently. The world of Catherine Kavanagh is very clear, very black and white. Not the intangible, mysterious, vague hues of grey that colour my world. Welcome to my world. See, she loves the drama. She just wants her life to be more interesting. I'm not convinced of anything otherwise. I'm not convinced that she actually truly likes him. He's so annoying. And it is really this simple. Dump him. She's always crying after seeing with him. She always feels really up and down. Like her self-worth is kind of dependent on his fucking mood swings. All the billions of dollars aren't worth it, babes. Also, it already sounds like Anna is just making excuses for Christian's behaviour, which is something abuse victims also do, but okay. Well, if you were mine, you wouldn't be able to sit down for a week after the stunt you pulled yesterday. He said it then, and all I could concentrate on at the time was being his. All the warning signs were there. I was just too clueless and too enamoured to notice. They drink red wine, because of course they do. Lots of alcohol every day so far in this book, absolutely fine. A little puff of a one joint, jail. For anyone new to this channel, I'm completely teetotal, I don't smoke weed, nothing like that. I've been sober for like almost 3 years. I just don't like the hypocrisy. I think it's fucking stupid. I think he's stupid. I think E.L. James is stupid. If you think I'm being mean about the author, don't worry, it gets worse. I can't talk this through with Kate without revealing too much, but one question on her day and Kate is off. It's reassuring to sit and listen to her normal chatter. The hot news is that Ethan may be coming to live with us after their vacation. That will be fun. Ethan is a hoot. I frown. I don't think Christian will approve. Well, tough. Yes, because Anna shouldn't be allowed near any other males without a chaperone. Anna gets an email from Christian. Dear Miss Steele, you are quite simply exquisite. The most beautiful, intelligent, witty and brave woman I have ever met. Take some Advil. This is not a request. And don't drive your Beetle again. I will know. Christian Grey. Is she all of those things? Because I haven't noticed. Anna adds caning to the hard limits list and Christian accepts. Ugh, I accidentally clicked ahead and I'm already annoyed at what's coming. Can't wait. They email back and forth and then Anna is like, I don't like you very much at the moment anyway because you never stay with me. Which is true. Christian fucks her, then fucks off. She turns off the computer and thinks about her day. It was heartwarming to spend some time with Ray. He looked well and weirdly he approved of Christian. Geez, Kate and her gargantuan mouth. I don't even know why Kate and her are friends because she's always slagging off Kate internally and never saying anything to her face. And of course, Ray accepted Christian already. We couldn't have some real conflicts with substance in this story, could we? And then this evening, he actually hit me. I've never been hit in my life. What have I gotten myself into? Very slowly, my tears, halted by Kate's arrival, begin to slide down the side of my face and into my ears. I have fallen for someone who's so emotionally shut down. I will only get hurt. Deep down I know this. Someone who, by his own admission, is completely fucked up. Why is he so fucked up? It must be awful to be as affected as he is, and the thought that as a toddler he suffered some unbearable cruelty makes me cry harder. Perhaps if he were more normal, he wouldn't want you. My subconscious contributes snidely to my musings, and in my heart of hearts, I know this is true. I turn into my pillow and the sluice gates open, and for the first time in years, I'm sobbing uncontrollably into my pillow. Right, fuck off. She's crying because she's been hit. She sees it as being hit. Not being spanked or something a little bit cheeky, a little bit kinky, a little bit naughty. Hit. Physical violence, physical abuse. And she's still able to have a bit of a, wee, poor Christian and his childhood moment in the middle of it somehow. What? Babes, put yourself first in this situation because you've just been, by your admission, hit. He is a grown man using the abuse he suffered as a child as an excuse to perpetuate this cycle. Not saying BDSM is abuse. We already know my feelings on that. And if you don't know my feelings on that, go watch the first video. It's pretty self-explanatory how I feel about that. This is not BDSM. It's just not. It's abuse. Very different to BDSM. I'm not going to justify myself. Christian is abusive and controlling and possessive and now has physically hurt her. And he's just using these tendencies, like masquerading them as being a kink instead of what they are, which is abuse. I'm momentarily distracted from my dark night of the soul, so dramatic, by Kate shouting, "What the fuck do you think you're doing here? Well, you can't. What the fuck have you done to her now? Since she's met you, she cries all the time. You can't come in here." Christian bursts into my bedroom and unceremoniously switches the overhead light on, making me squint. I actually hate Christian Grey as a character so much. It is not just Anna's flat, it is also Kate's flat. And Kate sees him as dangerous, and she said several times, he's dangerous for you. She does not trust him, but he just goes into her home as well without invitation from neither her nor Anna at this point. How did E.L. James write this with the thought that we're meant to see this as romantic and sexy? Because it's... I know that you should separate art from the artist, but that doesn't apply here because this isn't art, it's just trash. And I dislike E.L. James herself as a person because she has told millions of women that this abusive control freak is sexy and romantic, and hey, let him just break into your house to show that he really cares about you. Let him stalk you and track your phone to show that he's just caring about you. This book is stupidly irresponsible. I don't like it. I don't like the author. I don't like anyone that's helped get it published. Flame me. Who says that? Ebony, darkness, dementia, Raven Way. Flame me all you want, preps. Flame me for that. I don't care. I think this book is millions of people bought and read this book. It had a film made about it. It is irresponsible as shit. I don't like anyone who was involved in this. I'm not even gonna give a disclaimer. I usually do. I usually go, oh, they're probably nice people in real life, but it's not my thing. I'm not even going to say that here. That's how pissed off I am about this book. Anna says to Kate to not throw Grey out because she is a simp. What's going on here? He asks quietly. Why are you here? I ask, ignoring his question. My tears have miraculously ceased, but I'm left with dry heaves racking my body. Part of my role is to look after your needs. You said you wanted me to stay, so here I am, and yet I find you like this. He blinks at... Why does he talk like that? He blinks at me, truly bewildered. Part of my role, like it's a job, and he's the manager of Assholes Incorporated. I stare down at my hands. What can I say that I haven't said already? I want more. I want him to stay because he wants to stay with me, not because I'm a blubbering mess, and I don't want him to beat me. Is that so unreasonable? Beat me. Not the language of someone who is happy to be a sub and try these things out. Also, no, that is not so unreasonable. I'm very sure it's a rhetorical question, but I'm going to answer sincerely. Wanting a boyfriend to want to hang out with you and also not beat you up is probably the bare fucking minimum. Anastasia, you can't tell me what you think I want to hear. That's not very honest, he admonishes me. How can I trust anything you've said to me? Yes, of course, blame and neg her because she feels like she cannot communicate with you because of your mood swings and she's always feeling like she's walking on eggshells. A bold 1,000 plus IQ points move there. How did you feel while I was hitting you and after? I didn't like it. I'd rather you didn't do it again. You weren't meant to like it. What's she getting out of it then if she's not meant to enjoy it? What riddles are these? What strange markings are these? Word, Shaggy. He narrows his eyes again. Careful, he warns. I blanch. Are you going to hit me again? She's established she doesn't like being hit, so he immediately subtly threatens her when she's a bit sarcastic with him. These are bright, luminous green flags all around, so bright they're radioactive. Christian explains that he likes the control punishing women gives him. Honestly, just being around him should be punishment enough. It's the way I'm made, Anastasia. I need to control you. I need you to behave in a certain way, and if you don't, I love to watch your beautiful alabaster skin pink and warm under my hands. It turns me on. Dump him, babes. Just lower your standards and date someone who's only worth $500 million next time. This isn't worth it for her. He shrugs apologetically. And you still haven't answered my question. How did you feel afterwards? Confused. Oh, I'm about to get so mad. You were sexually aroused by it, Anastasia. He closes his eyes briefly, and when he reopens them and gazes at me, they are blazing. He's trying to impose upon her and force her into liking it when she clearly does not like the pain, does not like being hit that hard. He's trying to say that he knows her body better than she does. Trigger warning, we're going to talk about assault, and sexual violence for the next few minutes. Vaginas can be complicated. Orgasms can happen during childbirth. Did you know that? Did you also know that orgasms can happen to victims during rape? Christian's point here that, oh, well, you were aroused sexually by it, so it's okay, isn't a point at all. It's him just trying to force his will onto her. Arousal is a biological reflex of the vagina. So the vagina, little sex edge lesson for people here, is lubricated so it doesn't hurt or chafe or whatever if a willy is inside it. It is a bodily reflex. Therefore, if someone is being penetrated vaginally against their will, their body might decide to lubricate to try to minimize pain. This doesn't then mean that, oh, well, you were aroused, so you enjoyed it, so it wasn't actually rape. Christian's point of, well, you were aroused by it, her mind was saying no, so her body being aroused doesn't mean a fucking thing if her mind doesn't enjoy it, and if she as a person is being like, I don't like this, I don't want to do it. Doesn't mean anything if she was sexually aroused by it. And we've already established that whenever she's around Christian, she's just automatically aroused anyway. Doesn't fucking mean it. I hate him. I took some quotes from an article I read on this subject on a website called The Doe, and the title is Having an Orgasm During Rape, I Believed the Myth and Sought Violent Sex. The myth being that one's body can't get aroused during sexual assault, and if it does get aroused, then that means it's not actually sexual assault because you're actually enjoying it. No, myth. My body reacted to my assault in a way my mind could never have imagined. It screwed me up. At my most distressed, at a time when I wanted to imagine I was someone else, I orgasmed. My attacker looked at me with a smug smile on his face. You liked that, he said, and for a long time I believed I did. Shortly after speaking with my friend, I met a sex therapist at a women's group I was attending. The therapist told me it is common for victims to orgasm during a rape and that a physical response to an assault does not indicate that the individual's sexual preferences. What had consumed my life in terms of the guilt, the shame, the confusion, was simply a biological reaction to a sexual act. This helped to free me from the burden that I'd felt for all these years. The idea that I was somehow disgusting or dirty because I had orgasmed. Researchers Willie Van Berlo and Roy J. Levin concluded in a review published in 2004 that non-consensual sexual stimulation can cause unwanted sexual arousal. They noted that this does not mean the individual had consented or enjoyed the assault. Anna has been upset and crying since being spanked because she did not enjoy it and it's left her confused. It caused her pain. So Christian ignoring that just to say, yeah, well, you were aroused by it, so really your body does like it, is disgusting, and it's just him trying to confuse her so he can get his way. Anna makes a face at him and Christian gets horny and then says, I don't have any condoms and you're upset and I'm not a monster. Then why would you even feel the need to tell her that you're horny? You know, you don't have to just say every single little fucking thing that comes to your head. You know, you can keep quiet, yeah? Because it's not helping the situation to be like, I know you're upset right now, but damn, I'm really turned on. Oh, I've not got any condoms though. Oh, and you're crying, so poor me. I'm like, fuck off. Read the room, you moron. Anna explains that Christian overwhelms her so she cannot say what she feels face to face, and then he's like, you've bewitched me, and her inner goddess loves this, but hello, are we just going to ignore the fact that Anna keeps crying over this loser? Christian stays around but still bosses her about at every opportunity. She's not even allowed to face him when they're lying down to sleep. Then they drift off into a peaceful sleep. I hope neither of them wakes up. Chapter 17. Anna has a dream that she's Icarus flying too close to the sun, which she literally called herself a few paragraphs ago. Your metaphors suck if you have to bang us over the head with them constantly. Good morning, he mumbles and frowns. Jesus, even in my sleep I'm drawn to you. He moves slowly, unpeeling his limbs from me as he gets his bearings. I become aware of his erection against my hip. He notices my wide-eyed reaction and smiles a slow, sexy smile. It's just morning wood, babes. Don't flatter yourself. It happens to all of them. Christian is happy he stayed around, and so is Anna, and then he leaves to go to work. Work. All billionaires pretend that they work 80 plus hours a week to justify the, oh my god, no guys, you don't understand, they work really hard. They deserve the GDP of a small nation. This is just propaganda. Get out. Christian Grey spent the night with me and I feel rested, and there was no sex, only cuddling. He told me he never slept with anyone, but he slept 3 times with me. I grin and slowly climb out of my bed. I feel more optimistic than I have for the last day or so. I head for the kitchen, needing a cup of tea. Her standards are so low, it's painful. Probably because she has no fucking experience with men. That's why her standards are so low. She's got nothing to compare them to. Teehee, I cry all the time because of him, but he slept in my bed last night, so it's totally worth it. Snore. It's Anna's last day at Clayton's. No one cares. Anna sends Christian an email. Subject, assault and battery, the after effects. That's the subject, Jesus. Dear Mr. Grey, you wanted to know why I felt confused after you, which euphemism should we apply, spanked, abused, beat, assaulted me. Well, during the whole alarming process, I felt demeaned, debased, and abused. And much to my mortification, you're right, I was aroused and that was unexpected. As you are well aware, all things sexual are new to me. I only wish I was more experienced and therefore more prepared. I was shocked to feel aroused. What really worries me is how I felt afterwards, and that's more difficult to articulate. I was happy that you were happy, simp. I felt relieved that it wasn't as painful as I thought it would be. And when I was lying in your arms, I felt sated. But I feel uncomfortable, guilty even, feeling that way. It doesn't sit well with me and I'm confused as a result. Does that answer your question? She is saying that she felt abused. That is a very heavy word to use. It doesn't matter that she felt aroused. I don't care. I've already established with you that it is possible for the body to feel aroused during an assault. It is a biological reflex, and being aroused does not negate the assault, does not mean it's even less of an assault. Also, the second paragraph, she is just trying BDSM out because it makes him happy, not because she wants to. Christian responds, so you felt demeaned, debased, abused and assaulted. How very Tess Durbeyfield of you. I believe it was you who decided on the debasement, if I remember correctly. Do you really feel like this, or do you think you ought to feel like this? 2 very different things. If it is how you feel, do you think you could just try to embrace these feelings and deal with them for me? That's what a submissive would do. He sounds like a serial killer. He just sounds like a straight up serial killer. Embrace feeling abused. Other women would, so should you. I hate him. He's basically just saying to her, deal with it. Deal with it. Deal with the feelings. Sort it out yourself. Just deal with it. Embrace it. I don't care. Which isn't something a caring partner would do, dominant or otherwise. I am grateful for your inexperience. I value it. And I'm only beginning to understand what it means. Simply put, it means that you are mine in every way. He sounds like a nonce. Don't waste your energy on guilt, feelings of wrongdoing, etc. We are consenting adults, and what we do behind closed doors is between ourselves. You need to free your mind and listen to your body. Mate, if I listened to what my body wants and craves, right now I'd be on so much MDMA that doing this would actually be fun for me. Maybe I'm wrong in saying this, but I don't think so. I think our minds are here to protect our bodies. Think of it this way. Our DNA hasn't really changed much, right? My body craves sugar, craves fat, because these things, a couple 100,000 years ago, were scarce to come by. You had to research for them when we were hunter-gatherers, right? My body has not caught up to the fact that I can go to Tesco's and buy loads of chocolate and just eat loads of chocolate. But my mind knows that, so my mind has to tell my body, hey, lots of sugar and lots of fat, like lots of processed stuff, isn't going to be so good for you, so let's not do that. Let's ignore what... Because I crave chocolate like every single day, and I have to... I mean, I don't ignore that all the time. I'm afraid I eat chocolate every other day. Love yourself and all that. But if I really wanted... Like, if I listened to my body and my body's craving, I'd be eating chocolate, I'd be drinking loads of wine and doing loads of drugs because it feels good for my body. My mind is here to be like, oh, well, you know, you don't want to do that because then blah, 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 blah. Plus, he is only going off of, well, you were aroused. He is not listening to her saying she felt abused and seeing her cry over it. He's ignoring that. I hate him. Aren't you in a meeting? I'm very glad your hand was sore. And if I listened to my body, I'll be in Alaska by now. Anna. Subject, you didn't call the cops. Fuck off. Miss Steele, I am in a meeting discussing the futures market if you're really interested. For the record, see, he's in a meeting, fucking standard billionaires, pretending to work, but really he's just sexting. For the record, you stood beside me knowing what I was going to do. You didn't at any time ask me to stop. You didn't use either safe word. You are an adult. You have choices. Quite frankly, I'm looking forward to the next time my palm is ringing with pain. You're obviously not listening to the right part of your body. Alaska is very cold and no place to run. I would find you. I can track your cell phone, remember? The subject, you didn't call the cops, sounds like every boomer who victim blames and says, well, it's your fault for not going straight to the police after you were assaulted. Like, how dare you? Do you know what I mean? It's giving me that kind of vibe. And I'm also in pain reading this email because he takes no responsibility for the situation at all. Anyone who gave a shit about another person, submissive, dom, dynamic, or otherwise, just relationship, would say, I'm sorry that happened. I'm sorry I got it wrong. I'm sorry there was a miscommunication. I'll do better. I'll listen to you. Not this deflection and complete blame onto Anna. The bit about her having choices may as well be satire. The point of Christian's warped view of a BDSM relationship is that Anna has zero autonomy. If she had refused being spanked, he probably would have just headbutted her instead. Let's try and finish this video today, shall we? They keep emailing. It's stupid. Anna enjoys her new car and thinks about the emails. Why are there so many emails? Please stop. She gets to work and finds that Christian has ordered a BlackBerry phone to her work so he can contact her all the time. She's at work. Leave her alone for at least 5 minutes, you freak. Anna goes home, speaks to Kate, gets an email. Oh my god, this is the most interesting book I've ever read. Christian's assistant Taylor comes over to take Anna's old car to sell it. And I feel like this is just another way of trying to isolate and control Anna. Christian could take away his gift to Anna, the car, anytime he likes, and then she's going to be stuck because her car has been sold, which he pretty much forced her into doing. Taylor tells Anna that Christian is a good person. I know he's not getting paid enough to say that. Apartment Beetle Clayton's, it's all changed now. Is that grammatically correct? It's all changed now? It's all changed now? I shake my head as I wander back inside, and the biggest change of all is Christian Grey. Taylor thinks he's a good man. Can I believe him? Firstly, Taylor is being paid by Grey. And also, you don't even know Taylor, so why would you just believe him? I'm fed up with this book. Jose goes round, they drink food and eat... They eat food and drink beer. Kate answers the door and is nearly knocked off her feet by Elliot. He seizes her in a Hollywood-style clinch that moves quickly into a European art house embrace. Honestly, get a room. Jose and I stare at each other. I'm appalled at their lack of modesty. I say this, and yet I've read the rest of the book, so if this happens, it hasn't happened in this book. I said, you'll want to talk, don't you go to a party with an ass full of anal beads at some point in the future? Lol. I don't know if that actually happened or if I just made it up. Jose and Anna leave for a drink together. We don't see any of the drink, we're just told. The story just goes straight to Anna arriving home, and she has a grumpy email from Christian and a voicemail. I think you need to learn to manage my expectations. I am not a patient man. If you say you are going to contact me when you finish work, then you should have the decency to do so. Otherwise, I worry, and it's not an emotion I'm familiar with, and I don't tolerate it very well. Call me. Get a life. Double crap. Will he ever give me a break? I scowl at the phone. He is suffocating me. With a deep dread uncurling in my stomach, I scroll down to his number and press call. My heart is in my mouth as I wait for him to answer. He'd probably like to beat 7 shades of shit out of me. The thought is depressing. Christian is being nice to her on the phone. Yes, we finished packing and Kate and I had Chinese takeout with Jose. I close my eyes tightly as I say Jose's name. Christian says nothing. How about you? I ask to fill the deafening chasm of silence. I will not let him make me feel guilty about Jose. There is nothing here for her to feel guilty over. Even though the book doesn't treat it as such, Jose tried to assault her and Christian wants to punish her for that. They are at the new flat and Elliot has put the flat screen TV on the wall for them. Women, am I right? See, baby, easy. He grins a wide white tooth smile at Kate and she almost literally dissolves into the couch. I roll my eyes at the pair of them. Pot, kettle, you jizz every single time Christian looks at you. Elliot is adorable and so different from Christian. He's warm, open, physical, very physical, too physical with Kate. They can barely keep their hands off of each other. To be honest, it's embarrassing, and I am pea green with envy. If only she channeled this envy into resentment, and then hatred for Christian, and then dumped him. That would be the dream. Christian has sent the girls a bottle of champagne to congratulate them on their new apartment. Did you give him our address? No, but stalking is one of his specialities, I muse matter-of-factly. Kate's brows knit further. Somehow I'm not surprised. He worries me, Anna. At least it's good champagne and it's chilled. Anna is already normalised to Christian's awful behaviour, so she's a lost cause, but Kate should be more concerned and affronted, seeing as she also lives there, and Christian is a nut job. I wouldn't feel safe knowing that a crazy billionaire knew where I lived. Christian is 100% the type of guy who would kidnap Anna if she dumped him and maybe have Kate thrown into the river just to cover his tracks. Oh well, at least the champagne is chilled. It's Sunday and Anna drives to Christian's. Go girl! My inner goddess has her pom-poms in hand. She's in cheerleading mode. I'm allergic to this sentence. I got bored at this point, so I started working with one hand and playing Pokemon Go in the other. Anna sees Christian and is paralysed by his beauty. What? Christian shows Anna that they are in the Seattle Times newspaper together. Christian Grey and friend at graduation ceremony. The doctor is coming to see Anna. Sunday at lunchtime. I cannot begin to imagine how much that costs. Christian frowns suddenly as if recalling something unpleasant. Anastasia, my mother would like you to come to dinner this evening. I believe Elliot is asking Kate too. I don't know how you feel about it. It will be odd for me to introduce you to my family. Odd? Why? Are you ashamed of me? I can't keep the wounded hurt out of my voice. Of course not, he rolls his eyes. Why is it odd? Because I've never done it before. Well, yes, it's not usually normal for someone to introduce their fleshlight to their family. The doctor arrives. Cliffhanger. Chapter 18. The doctor diagnoses Anna with terminal stupidity, and that's the end of the book. Anna immediately internally calls Dr. Green a Stepford blonde. The doctor and Anna decide on a mini pill for her. Is this interesting to anyone to read about? This is meant to be escapism. Why am I hearing about someone else's I don't care. Yes, Mr. Grey, look after her. She's a beautiful, bright young woman. Christian is taken aback, as am I. What an inappropriate thing for a doctor to say. Is she giving him some kind of not-so-subtle warning? Christian recovers himself. The doctor is spotting red flags from a mile off. Taylor appears from nowhere to escort her through the double doors and out to the elevator. How does he do that? Where does he lurk? Good question. Does Taylor just hang around in the background somewhere when they fuck? Does he have to listen in sometimes to make sure that Anna hasn't choked Christian to death in his sleep? You couldn't pay me enough money to have to hang around Christian Grey for a second. What's the music? Villa Lobos. Yes, I probably mispronounced that. An aria from Baquinas Brasileiras. Good, isn't it? Yes, I murmur in total agreement. You're very graceful. Why, thank you, Miss Steele, he murmurs. He sits down beside me, holding a bottle of wine. Chablis? Please. They drink in every other scene. Right, I'm rereading Bridget Jones's Diary, the first one at the moment. Don't ask why, I'm just having a moment, you know. And she drinks a lot in it as well. And it's kind of everywhere in the media. And sometimes the constant reminder of alcohol kind of makes me think, did I not actually have a problem? Because everyone else seems to drink loads and be alright. Was I just a big baby? I'll let you know how that one goes. Help yourself to salad, he says, his voice soft. Tell me, what method did you opt for? I am momentarily thrown by his question when I realise he's asking about Dr. Green's visit. Mini pill. He frowns. And will you remember to take it regularly at the right time every day? Why is he frowning at her and being patronising to her over contraception? Stop treating her like an infant. I'm sure you'll remind me, I murmur dryly. 3 murmurs in less than 3 pages. They eat their chicken salad and then they get horny, blah, blah, blah. Are you going to hit me? Yes, but it won't be to hurt you. I don't want to punish you right now. If you'd caught me yesterday evening, well, that would have been a different story. Holy cow, he wants to hurt me. How do I deal with this? I can't hide the horror on my face. He admits that he wanted to hit her yesterday because he was mad that, checks notes, she didn't check her phone for a few hours. This is just abuse. Hitting someone because you're genuinely mad at them, not part of, ooh, nice little kink. No, you're actually pissed at them for something, so you hit them. It's just abuse. It's not BDSM. Don't let anyone try to convince you otherwise, Anastasia. One of the reasons people like me do this is because we either like to give or receive pain. It's very simple. You don't, so I spent a great deal of time yesterday thinking about that. Yes, but the other party has to enjoy it as well, or get enjoyment from it. Otherwise, it's just one person hitting the other and the other person getting upset and not enjoying it. What is this babble? Why is this published? They go to Christian's playroom. I refuse to call it the Red Room of Pain because I'm not 5 years old. When they're in the playroom, Christian demands to do anything he wants with Anna. He sniffs her. Again, this is very repetitive stuff. He makes her go sit in a corner, hopefully to think about what she's done by existing in this book, and then he goes off for 10 minutes, probably to go skin some cats or something. He comes back wearing... ... different jeans. And suddenly he's back, and all at once I am calmer and more excited in the same breath. Could I be more excited? I can see his feet. He's changed his jeans. These are older, ripped, soft and overwashed. Holy cow, these jeans are hot. What? He shuts the door and hangs something on the back. A Chandler impression and a holy cow in the same paragraph. We are so blessed. He slaps her hand with a riding crop, but gently, so it doesn't hurt. He wants to chain her up. All right, Anision. This grid is designed so the shackles move across the grid. I glance up. Holy shit, it's like a subway map. Firstly, okay. Secondly, how come we had a holy cow and now we get a holy shit? Where's the consistency? Do you like to curse or not? Because I swear... I don't think I have ever said, holy cow, if a fucking hell will suffice. Do you know what I mean? He chains her up and then flicks her with the crop for a bit. She's enjoying this because he's not hurting her. He makes her jizz. They have sex, blah, blah, blah. She's tired and wants to sleep, but he wants more. Boring you, am I, Miss Steele? Yes, actually. Thanks for asking. I blink at him, praying for you to go easy on me. I do as I'm told. He takes a cable tie and fastens it around my wrists, tightening the plastic. Holy hell, my eyes fly to his. I have scissors here. He holds them up for me to see, so I can cut you out of this in a moment. Not good enough? Don't use cable ties. Don't put them in your story. Don't be stupid. Don't be irresponsible. An irresponsible and poorly written book. E.L. James does not deserve $150 million pounds net worth. I deserve it for reading this. They have sex again. Anna is tired, so Christian takes her to her room for sleep. Another chapter ended with them sleeping. Is this just something that everyone does when they can't think of how to end a chapter? Just send your characters off to bed. Who knows? Chapter 19. They wake up with only half an hour to spare as they are going to dinner at Christian's parents'. Christian has stolen Anna's knickers, so she decides to wear... I thought I was being serious then. I tricked myself. Christian has stolen Anna's knickers, so she decides to wear all of his clothes and go commando. Back in the bedroom, I put on my bra, slip into a dress, and climb into my shoes. I remove the braid and hastily brush out my hair, then glance down at the drink he's left. It's pale pink. What's this? Cranberry and sparkling water? It tastes delicious and quenches my thirst. I don't see the relevance of the point of that in the slightest. I wouldn't drink any drink made by Christian unobserved. I don't see unless he like put MDMA in it, I don't see the relevance of it just being mentioned like that. They dance. Yes, they dance. And then they go off to his parents. In the car, Christian tells Anna that he learnt to dance from Mrs. Robinson, the woman who nonced him. The spy who nonced me. Anna is jealous and hates Mrs. Robinson. Fair enough. Penny for your thoughts, he asks. I sigh and frown. That bad, huh? He says. I wish I knew what you were thinking, he smirks. Ditto, baby, he says as Taylor whisks us into the night towards somewhere. Just talk to each other then. Problem solved. They arrive. Anna meets the mum and father and the sister. The sister is annoyingly overexcited at Anna's existence. That bubble will burst as soon as she gets to know her, I'm sure. She's about my age. We all turn and head into the living room. Mia has not let go of my hand. Is she 5 years old? Who acts like that upon meeting someone else? They're both like 20, 21. Yeah, they're both 21. Who would do that? Oh, I just met you for the first time. I'm just going to hold your hand and walk around with you. What? It's weird. Maybe it's not weird. Maybe I'm just repressed and I don't like people touching me. Kate and Elliot are in the living room. Hi, Anna, she beams. Christian, she nods curtly to him. Kate, he is equally formal with her. I frown at their exchange. Elliot grasps me in an all-embracing hug. What do you expect? Kate sees you crying all of the time because of Christian. She's not going to like him as a person. She's not going to jump for joy just because he exists and he's good looking. Idiots. Drinks? Mr. Grey seems to recover himself. Prosecco? Please. Christian and I speak in unison. Oh, this is beyond weird. Mia claps her hands. You're even saying the same things. I'll get them. She scoots out of the room. I mean, that's a very normal response in reply to a question offering refreshments. Stop trying to force us to believe there's a natural chemistry here. Please is a very commonly used word. We were just talking about vacations, Anna, Mr. Grey says kindly. Elliot has decided to follow Kate and her family to Barbados for a week. I glance at Kate and she grins, her eyes bright and wide. She's delighted. Catherine Kavanagh, I've already forgotten how to pronounce it. Show some dignity. What, because she smiled? You fucking weirdo. Why is Anna always privately negging Kate? Kate is excited that her non-toxic partner is going to join her on holiday. Also, really, really rich and ironic to talk about someone else's dignity when you're not even wearing underwear to meet someone's parents for the first time. Just saying. Anna reveals she wants to visit Georgia to see her mum, and Christian is like Pikachu surprise shock face because she doesn't tell him much because she feels that she can't talk to him because he is psychotic. For how long? Christian asks, his voice deceptively soft. Look at him revving himself up to get big mad at Anna over shuffles cards. That's how I shuffle cards. Seeing her family. Red flags all round. Holy crap, he's angry. I don't know yet. It will depend on how my interviews go tomorrow. His jaw clenches and Kate gets that interfering look on her face. She smiles over sweetly. Anna deserves a break, she says pointedly at Christian. Why is she so antagonistic towards him? What is her problem? How is that even antagonistic? Like, just saying she deserves a break and deserves to go on holiday. What is Anna's problem? Why is she always negging Kate? She never says this stuff to her face though, because obviously Anna is a pussy old bruv. And why are you not more concerned over your sugar daddy trying to control your entire life? We all stand. Kate and Elliot follow Mr. Grey and Mia out of the room. I go to follow, but Christian clutches my elbow, bringing me to an abrupt halt. When were you going to tell me you were leaving? He asks urgently. His tone is soft, but he's masking his anger. I'm not leaving. I'm going to see my mother, and I was only just thinking about it. What about our arrangement? What the fuck about it? It doesn't say anything about never seeing your family again, does it? Like, what? Literally, why is he putting his ball bag's needs over her seeing her family? I hate him. Oh, right. So, remember in the previous paragraph, I go to follow, but Christian clutches my elbow, bringing me to an abrupt halt. The next sentence. He narrows his eyes and then seems to remember himself. Releasing my hand, he takes my elbow and leads me out of the room. He was just holding her elbow, but now he's released her hand to take her elbow. Why did no one proofread this? Oh my god. Pay me, I will proofread it. This conversation is not over, he whispers threateningly as we enter the dining room. There is nothing further to discuss, you absolute wet lettuce. She's going to see her mum, chill out. I'm just going to read straight from the script because I wrote a paragraph here because I was feeling really big mad. Do you know why I consider this the worst book I've ever read? Well, I'll tell you. Because there's added context of how insanely popular it is, having sold tens of millions of copies worldwide, people are impressionable. And we have this author irresponsibly masquerading an abusive dynamic as romantic and kinky. It's not possible to know how many people might have internalized some of the ridiculous narrative in this book, but I'd put some money on there being at least a little bit of damage because of this book. I peek up at Christian, and he turns to look at me, his head cocked to one side. What? He asks. Please don't be mad at me, I whisper. I'm not mad at you. I stare at him, he sighs. Yes, I am mad at you. He closes his eyes briefly. Palm-twitchingly mad? I ask nervously. She's worried that he is mad enough to want to hurt her. Kate smiles, a wicked gleam in her eye. How was Jose when you went to the bar with him on Friday? Holy fuck, Kate. I widen my eyes at her. What is she doing? She widens her eyes back at me, and I realise she's trying to make Christian jealous. How little she knows. I thought I'd gotten away with this. Palm-twitchingly mad, he whispers, especially now. His tone is quiet and deadly. Oh no, I squirm, not scream. Can't read. So he's admitting that he is genuinely angry here because he is the jealous type. He's angry enough, right here, to hit Anna and hurt her. That is not BDSM. That is just physical abuse. I cannot stress this point enough. I feel like it's losing meaning the more I say it, but I just really need to drill it into everyone's heads. That is not healthy. She doesn't like it. She doesn't get a kinky little thrill of, oh, look, I'm making him so mad. Oh, he's so going to slap my ass, whatever. She's not feeling that. She's scared of him. A maid called Gretchen eyes up Christian, so Anna gets annoyed. Moments later, Grace returns, her brow furrowed. Mr. Grey cocks his head to one side, like Christian. Oh, good. The whole family is a pack of German shepherds. There's some small talk. Over our dessert of lemon syllabub, Mia regales us with her exploits in Paris, lapsing at one point into fluent French. We all stare at her, and she stares back puzzled, until Christian tells her in equally fluent French what she's done, whereupon she bursts in a fit of giggles. She has a very infectious laugh, and soon we're all in stitches. Oh wow, Mia is so special. Can E.L. James please just write one likeable character? Can confirm, my boyfriend is bilingual. In French. He's never turned around to me and started just going, blah, 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 blah. That's not French sounds. Je m'appelle Claude. Elliot holds forth about his latest building project, a new eco-friendly community to the north of Seattle. I glance up at Kate and she's hanging on every word Elliot says, her eyes glowing with lust or love. I haven't quite worked out which yet. He grins down at her and it's as if an unspoken promise passes between them. Laters, baby, he's saying, and it's hot. Freaking hot. I flush just watching them. Why is Anna getting horny over looking at her friends? I had a haircut. I feel like my forehead looks horrible. Christian also, throughout this dinner, keeps trying to touch Anna up with his family at the table, so she's denying his advances. She's like closing her legs and sort of like pushing his hand away and stuff. After dinner, Christian takes Anna on a tour to see the backyard. I bet he wants to see her backyard. He throws her over his shoulder and takes her to the boathouse to fuck. Chapter 20. Christian bursts through the wooden floor of the boathouse and pauses to flick on some switches. Why do I write this stuff? That's not the only thing he's gonna be flicking. Sorry, Mum. His breathing is harsh, but then he's just carried me across the lawn and up a flight of stairs. Grey eyes blaze with anger, need, and pure unadulterated lust. Holy shit, I could spontaneously combust from his look alone. Please don't hit me, I whisper, pleading. His brow furrows, his eyes widening. He blinks twice. I don't want you to spank me. Not here, not now. Please don't. He's mad, so she's genuinely concerned that he's going to hurt her. Please don't hit me. He chills out a bit, so she kisses him. He pulls back suddenly, our collective breathing ragged and mingling. My hands drop to his arms, and he glares down at me. What are you doing to me? He whispers, confused. Kissing you. You said no. What? No to what? At the dinner table, with your legs. Oh, that's what this is all about. But we were at your parents' dining table. I stare up at him, completely bewildered. No one's ever said no to me before, and it's so hot. Oh no, someone told him no for once. How dare someone say no to the big bad billionaire? What a twist. You're mad and turned on because I said no? I breathe, astonished. I'm mad because you never mentioned Georgia to me. I'm mad because you went drinking with that guy who tried to seduce you when you were drunk, it wasn't seducing, and who left you when you were ill with an almost complete stranger. What kind of friend does that? And I'm mad and aroused because you closed your legs on me. His eyes glitter dangerously and he's slowly inching up the hem of my dress. I want you, and I want you now, and if you're not going to let me spank you, which you deserve, I'm going to fuck you on the couch this minute, quickly, for my pleasure, not yours. Again, hitting someone who doesn't want to be hit in the first place because they don't enjoy it from a place of anger rather than a tee-hee, like a fun kinky game is not BDSM, it's just abuse. We don't have long. This will be quick, and it's for me, not you. Do you understand? Don't come, or I will spank you, he says through clenched teeth. Holy crap, how do I stop? He's denying her orgasm because he's mad at her. Not part of a fun game where both adults have consented, right? And the orgasm denied enjoys the dynamic. Or perhaps it's being used as a way to make the eventual orgasm nicer when it does happen. That's called edging. Sex education with Alizee. Right, but he's not doing that. He's just saying you're not allowed to come because I'm a complete tool. Yet further proving he's using her as a fuck toy than a human being. So he finishes and he returns her knickers and then Mia yells for them. Does anyone else think that it's a little bit rude, a little bit rogue that Anna has just met the family but Christian took her away for a quick fuck in the boathouse? Like, they've just had a several course meal. Couldn't he have let her digest for a bit? Honestly. Up here, Mia, he calls down. Well, Miss Steele, I feel better for that, but I still want to spank you, he says softly. I don't believe I deserve it, Mr. Grey, especially after tolerating your unprovoked attack. Unprovoked? You kissed me. He tries his best to look wounded. I purse my lips. It was attack as the best form of defense. Defense against what? You and your twitchy palm. E.L. James wants us to think that the two of them are cute, but it's not cute that Anna felt she needed to kiss him to distract him away from hitting her in anger. Kate and Elliot are about to leave. I need to speak to you about antagonizing Christian, I hiss quietly in her ear as she embraces me. He needs antagonizing, then you can see what he's really like. Be careful, Anna. He's so controlling, she whispers. See you later. I know what he's really like, you don't! I scream at her in my head. I'm fully aware that her actions have come from a good place, but sometimes she just oversteps boundaries. And right now, she's so far past the line is a dot to you. Do you reckon E.L. James likes Friends? Maybe I'm just projecting. She's far over that, she's in the neighbouring state. I scowl at her and she pokes her tongue out at me, making me smile unwillingly. Playful Kate is novel, must be Elliot's influence. She changed that fucking tune quickly, didn't she? Anna is such a shit friend. She's always been rude about Kate in her head, but she just never has the balls to actually say anything to her face properly. Besides, Kate can clearly see through Christian better than Anna can. It would be pathetic if it wasn't so problematic. Why did I use that word? I don't like that word. You know what I mean, though. Just, what's a cinnamon? A cinnamon? Let's find a better word than problematic, one that I don't. Problematic, as in an attic that is causing issues. Problematical. Troublesome. Controversial. It would be pathetic if it wasn't so troublesome. The intent of this is probably that we, the reader, are meant to be on Anna's side and be like, oh, how dare Kate, that's so frustrating. But Kate is the one speaking sense here. Mia embraces me warmly as we say our goodbyes. We never thought she'd find anyone, she gushes. Take care of yourself, Anna, dear, Grace says kindly. Christian, embarrassed or frustrated by the lavish attention I'm receiving from the remaining Greys, grabs my hand and pulls me to his side. Let's not frighten her away or spoil her with too much affection, he grumbles. Christian, stop teasing, Grace scolds him indulgently, her eyes glowing with love and affection for him. Somehow I don't think he's teasing. I surreptitiously watch their interaction. I mean, they are just being normal people here. They're giving her a compliment and saying take care. They're essentially being like, oh, it was really nice to meet you, come around again sometime. That's it. How is that spoiling her with attention? Why the fuck is Christian Grey such a man baby? For a billionaire, what is his damage? How did millions of people find this fictional character attractive? He's so childish. He is getting insecure over his mother saying, take care. Anna decides to get paranoid over the thought that maybe Christian only invited her to this dinner because Elliot had invited Kate, and actually Christian didn't want her to meet his parents at all. He just felt forced into it. Except Anna has already met Christian's mum at this point, and Christian's mum liked her, and he liked that she'd met his mum. So this is such a non-issue. This is the plot desperately trying to wring out more words to meet a word count. It's invented problems where there are none. Christian asks if he can come to Georgia with Anna, and she's like, I don't know. And they talk about how funny each other are. They must be reading a different story. Anna admits she might be having second thoughts about the relationship. Holy crap, how did this suddenly become such an intense and meaningful conversation? It's been sprung on me, like an exam I'm not prepared for. What do I say? Because I think I love you and you just see me as a toy? Because I can't touch you? Because I'm too frightened to show you any affection in case you flinch or tell me off or worse, beat me? What can I say? Oh dear, what a load of drama. Anna wants more loving in the relationship. We're coming near to the end of the bridge and Sorry, I just saw what I wrote in caps below. Yes, laughing at myself. I think I'm hilarious. We're coming near to the end of the bridge, and the road is once more bathed in the neon light of the street lamp, so his face is intermittently in the light and the dark. And it's such a fitting metaphor. This man, whom I once thought of as a romantic hero, a brave shining white knight, or the dark knight, as he said. He's not a hero. He's a man with serious, deep emotional flaws, and he's dragging me into the dark. Can I not guide him into the light? What the hell am I reading here? He's not the hero we deserve. He's also not the hero we need. Go away. Did E.L. James think that she was writing a different story? Because, can I not just guide him into the light? Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't articulate right now what's really annoying me about that. Like, it's not Crime and Punishment. He's not just murdered the rent money lady. You know? Christian says he will try to give Anna more loving. Honestly, mate, you're a fucking billionaire. It's not hard for you to get her a box of chocolates or some flowers from Tesco once in a while. Anna sits in his lap for the drive home, throwing respect for the law to the wind. I hope Taylor has to break suddenly. They get in and talk about, you've guessed it, having sex. My inner goddess pops her head above the parapet. Oh no, I've had enough exotic for one day. My inner goddess pouts at me, failing miserably to hide her disappointment. I don't know how E.L. James continuously wrote about this inner goddess and thought it sounded good. She sounds like a 12-year-old every time it's mentioned. Is this meant to be empowering? Is this a win for feminism? Having an inner goddess that only wants to please a man sexually 24/7. The suffragettes didn't exist for this. Anna wants Christian to make love to her. Good luck. He stills and stares at me blankly. His expression darkens. Oh shit, this doesn't look good. Give him a minute, my subconscious snaps. Not a subconscious. Anna wants to touch Christian and he's like, no, hard limit. So, when they're having sex in the missionary position, can she not put her arms around him? Like, she just has to keep her hands down, to the sides and to herself. Other than when she's like touching his hair. She can't just grab onto him, give him a little cuddle. Okay. Whatever floats your boat. I stare at myself in the overlarge mirror, shocked that I still look the same. After all that I'd done today, it's still the same ordinary girl gaping back at me. What did you expect? That you'd grow horns and a little pointy tail? My subconscious snaps at me. What the hell are you doing? Touching is his hard limit. Too soon, you idiot. He needs to walk before he can run. My subconscious is furious, Medusa-like in her anger, hair flying, her hands clenched around her face like in Ed Vad Munch's The Script. Fuck off. Literally fuck off. What stupid, childish imagery. How am I meant to take this? I'm getting mad. Stick to the script. I ignore her, but she won't climb back into her box. You're making him mad. Think about all he's said, all he's conceded. I scowl at my reflection. I need to be able to show him affection. Then maybe he can reciprocate. Why does her subconscious go so hard on her? And why is her subconscious on Christian's side? Weird. I finish with his toothbrush. He's a billionaire living in the middle of a city, the heart of a city, and he still hasn't ordered in a second toothbrush for her yet. Anna wants to know why Christian hates being touched, so then he gets a sex toy out. Okay. Some little silver balls. The sex toy, that is. I'm not being patronising to Christian. Fuck. This is sexier than the toothbrush. Alright, Tana Mojo, calm down. He puts the balls inside her. Stop laughing, everyone. And he spanks her, but nicely this time. It's such a stimulating erotic feeling, and for some reason, because this is on my terms, I don't mind the pain. It's not painful as such. Well, it is, but not unbearable. Because it's on my terms, this is the importance in the difference here. What happened before with her getting spanked is unacceptable, and this, her saying, oh, it's on my terms, so this is fine, doesn't suddenly make up for that. He pulls the balls out and makes love to her, then they talk for a bit. The woman who brought me into this world was a crack whore, Anastasia. Go to sleep. That's one for feminism, isn't it? The chapter ends with, you guessed it, them falling asleep. Chapter 21. Anna wakes up to no Christian, but his housekeeper is in. I'm only wearing Christian's t-shirt. I feel self-conscious and embarrassed by my lack of clothing. I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage. My voice is quiet, unable to stop the anxiety in my voice. Why is she sounding like a Jane Austen character all of a sudden? Stop. How do you do? I manage. Anna has never spoken like this before. What's going on? She goes to find Gray on the phone and goes on about how sexy he is. I didn't want to wake you. You looked so peaceful. Did you sleep well? I am very well rested, thank you. I just came to say hi before I had a shower. Why are they being so formal? They've had each other's silver balls all over the place. They have sex. Again. He literally just sticks his dick in her and she orgasms straight away. Yet another unrealistic standard for both men and women. I cry out a wordless, passionate plea as I touch the sun and burn, falling around him, falling down, back to a breathless, bright summit on Earth. God, I wish he actually did burn up. I wish he would spontaneously combust. We get it. She's like Icarus for some strange reason only Ymir knows. He immediately starts getting possessive and needy. Are you sure you have to go to Georgia? Dude, she's just going away for a few days to see her mother. She's not going to Cabo for spring break. You Americans need to appreciate all the American references that I put in for you. I glance down at the foil packet beside me. Always prepared, I murmur. He looks at me confused as he redoes his fly. I hold up the empty packet. A man can hope, Anastasia, dream even, and sometimes his dreams come true. He sounds so odd, his eyes burning. I hate him. I just don't understand. Me neither. My post-coital glow is fading. Why does she sound like Sheldon Cooper? Why? My post-coital glow is fading fast. What is his problem? He smiles an enigmatic smile that doesn't reach his eyes, and I know immediately this is not the first time he's had sex on his desk. The thought is unwelcome. I squirm uncomfortably as my post-coital glow evaporates. Right, he's being weird for no reason, and she has started angsting, genuinely, for no reason at all. This nonsense is just inserted into the text to make the book seem like it actually has more conflict and plot than it actually does. Thank you, I mutter. You're most welcome, he replies automatically, but there's an edge to his voice. I'm not saying thank you for fucking me, although it was very... What? He asks, and I realise I'm frowning. What's wrong? I ask softly. What do you mean? Well, you're being more weird than usual. And please me you do, he says, but he looks uneasy. I thought you were going to have a shower. Oh, he's dismissing me. Yes, I'll see you in a moment. I scurry out of his office completely dumbfounded. He seems confused. Why? All this text to say nothing. I suppose I've included this because they're yapping away to each other, but no one's actually saying anything of worth or value. In the shower, I try to figure out what's up with Christian. He is the most complicated person I know, and I cannot understand his ever-changing moods.
Daryl Philbin is the most complicated man that I have ever met. I mean, who says exactly what they're thinking? What kind of game is that?
Would you like something to eat? No, thank you. Of course you'll have something to eat. Christian snaps, glowering. She likes pancakes, bacon, and eggs, Mrs. Jones. Tool. Christian wants Anna to use his private jet to fly to Georgia, which sounds cool. It sounds like that's him being nice in his own billionaire way. But knowing Christian, it's probably just a way of keeping an eye on her at all times, making sure she doesn't talk to any men. I've told you more than I've ever told anybody. His voice is quiet as he gazes at me impassively. And it's clear to me that he's never confided in anyone. Doesn't he have any close friends? Perhaps he's told Mrs. Robinson. I want to ask him, but I can't. I can't pry that invasively. I shake my head at the realization. He really is an island. Yeah, he needs to get a hobby and meet people and make some new friends. They say they will miss each other while Anna is gone. I've no idea why. Anna is at her second job interview with the publishing company that even she calls quirky because she is also very quirky and different. I am packed and Kate has agreed to drive me to the airport. Christian has ordered me to take my BlackBerry and the Mac. I roll my eyes at the memory of his overbearing bossiness, but I realise now that's just the way he is. He likes control over everything, including me. Oh, it's fine. It's just the way he is. Like, can't change that. Just got to accept it. Just got to put up with it. It's just who he is as a person. Okay, fine, whatever. All the women in this publishing house are bohemian because they too are quirky and special. She gives me a polite smile, her cool hazel eyes assessing me. I am wearing one of Kate's dresses, a black pinafore over a white blouse and my black pumps. Right, yesterday, or last night, she was wearing Kate's dress for dinner at Christian's parents' house. And now she's wearing another one of Kate's dresses. Get your own clothes. Don't slag her off internally all the time and then take all of her clothes. There's some bloke called Jack who conducts the interview of Anna. He cocks his head like Christian. Maybe it's his long-lost pack brother. I'm sure it will come up at some point in the second or third book. It's probably an important plot point. Let's just put a pin in it for now. Pretty sure Anna has nailed the interview. Good for her. She goes home. How did they go? She asks, excited. Only Kate can look gorgeous in an oversized shirt, tattered jeans, and a dark blue bandana. Okay, thanks. Incidentally, will you please stop winding Christian up? Your comment about Jose at dinner yesterday was out of line. He's a jealous guy. It doesn't do any good, you know. Look, if he wasn't Elliot's brother, I'd have said a lot worse. He's a real control freak. I don't know how you stand it. I was trying to make him jealous. Get him a little help with his commitment issues. She holds her hands up defensively. But if you don't want me to interfere, I won't, she says hastily at my scowl. Kate gives the only real advice of this book so far. You two need to sit down and talk to each other. Anna then ponders over whether Christian even has feelings for her. Oh good, more emails. Dear Miss Steele, everything you do interests me. You are the most fascinating woman I know. Where does he get off lying so flagrantly? Anna asks him whether Mrs. Jones, the housekeeper, is an ex-sub of his. After their boring emails, Anna goes to the airport to go to Georgia and finds that her ticket was upgraded to first class. Ugh, I narrow my eyes. He hands me my boarding pass and I head towards the first class lounge, muttering under my breath. Damn Christian Grey, interfering control freak. He can't just leave well enough alone. Chapter 22. I am manicured, massaged, and I've had 2 glasses of champagne. The first class lounge has many redeeming features. With each sip of Moët, I don't drink. I feel slightly more inclined to forgive Christian his intervention. Typical. She sold her soul for a glass of champagne. Dear Mr. Grey, what really alarms me is how you knew which flight I was on. Your stalking knows no bounds. Let's hope that Dr. Flynn is back from... Yeah, how would he know what flight she's on? Because if, surely there's a really bad security issue with these airlines then if he worked out what flight she was on. No, because there might have been several flights from Seattle to Georgia. There's issues going on here. Let's hope that Dr. Flynn's back from vacation. I have had a manicure, a back massage and 2 glasses of champagne. A very nice start to my vacation. His stalking is a problem, yes, but a bigger problem is repeating the same sentence you said in the first paragraph. Stop trying to meet your word count. Anna tells Christian that a nice young man massaged her. Oh, he's going to flip out, and I shall be airborne and out of reach. He's going to turn up in Georgia, isn't he? He emails back that he's big mad, and she can't tell if he's joking and is scared he's really angry, so she's like, I'm sorry, please forgive me. She then naps and decides, after her nap, she decides to send him a long email about her feelings. That scares me, ... You scare me, ... This is a very healthy relationship, and I allow myself to feel a modicum of excitement. I'm going to see my mother for the first time in 6 months. Oh good, I can't wait for Christian to ruin it somehow. Anna is in Georgia and cries as soon as she sees her mother, another great sign by the way. She texts her friends to say that she is safe. My thoughts stray briefly to Jose as I press send, and through the fog of my fatigue, I remember that his show is next week. Should I invite Christian, knowing how he feels about Jose? Why would she even think of doing this when she knows how he feels about Jose? And plus Jose is like her friend, so she doesn't need to invite her almost, but she doesn't need to. But also, why would she? She knows that Christian Reed doesn't, and she knows that also it's Jose's show, and Jose doesn't even like Christian. So, does she like making Christian jealous? Anna and her mum go to the beach and talk about, what else? Christian. Men aren't really complicated, Anna, honey. They're very simple, literal creatures. They usually mean what they say. And we spent hours trying to analyse what they've said when it's really obvious. When really it's obvious. If I were you, I'd take him literally. That might help. Wasn't her mum the one that said that men are very complicated and they're basically a different species? Why has she changed her tune in 2 days? Didn't I also say this too? What if I actually wrote 50 Shades of Grey, but I repressed the memory and took on an entirely new persona because I was horrified by what I'd created? Anna has an email from Christian. Anastasia, I'm annoyed that as soon as you put some distance between us, you can communicate openly and honestly with me. Why can't you do that when we're together? I don't know, mate. It might have something to do with your mood swings that make her feel unsafe and you trying to fuck her into submission every 2 seconds. Christian reveals that he is actually a communist. I don't know how to answer your comment about feeling like a whore. I know that's not what you've written, but it's what you imply. I don't know what I can say or do to eradicate these feelings. I'd like you to have the best of everything. I work exceptionally hard so I can spend my money as I see fit. I could buy you your heart's desire, Anastasia, and I want to. Call it redistribution of wealth, if you will. This is big. Grimes dating a billionaire, but then pretending to read Karl Marx energy. Talked about that. And if/when I do gag you, we'll discuss it. What I think you fail to realise is that in the dom-sub relationships, it is the sub who has all the power. That's you. I'll repeat this. You are the one with all the power, not I. In the boathouse, you said no. I can't touch you if you say no. That's why we have an agreement. But what you will? and won't do. I'm actually amazed that this is in the book, but I feel like this is just lip service. He's saying, of course you have the real power, but he's been acting the whole time like it's all down to him and he's calling all the shots. So I understand that this is a huge leap of faith for you. I have to earn your trust, but by the same token, you have to communicate with me when I am failing to do this. You seem so strong and self-contained, and then I read what you've written here and I see another side to you. We have to guide each other, Anastasia, and I can only take my cues from you. You have to be honest with me, and we have to both find a way to make this a great arrangement work. He's blaming their problems on her not communicating properly, not stopping to think why she doesn't communicate properly with him, i.e. his mood swings when he doesn't get his way. He says he will try to give her the space she needs.
So that was a fucking lie.
Anna is happy from his email because she's a simp, and then there's a lot of exclamation marks. Anna then falls asleep and wakes up and gets ready for dinner. I have brought Kate's grey halter neck dress that I wore for my graduation. Get your own clothes. There's even more emails. Escapism is not reading emails. You do it all the time in print. Can I zip up your dress? I would rather you unzipped it. So would I. Caps lock. The pinnacle of sexy. Anna's mother questions why she is wearing Kate's dress, and Anna skirts the question. I don't get it either. Did I miss something? Why is she always wearing Kate's clothes? Especially when, in this same paragraph, Anna says that she has lots of clothes and doesn't need to go shopping with her mum to buy more. IamConfused.com. More emails. Christian says he's having dinner with an old friend, and Anna immediately thinks of Mrs. Robinson, so Anna thinks about hitting her. I should really respond to his long email from this morning, but I'm suddenly too angry. Why can't he see her for what she is? A child molester. I switch off the light, see things, staring into the darkness. How dare she? How dare she pick on a vulnerable adolescent? Is she still doing it? Why did they stop? Various scenarios filter through my mind. If he had had enough, then why is he still friends with her? Ditto her. Is she married? Divorced? Geez. Does she have children of her own? Does she have Christian's children? My subconscious rears her ugly head, leering, and I'm shocked and nauseated at the thought. Does Dr. Flynn know about her? Talk to him. Ask him questions. Find out. Anna Googles Christian to ogle at some pictures there are of him, and then sends an email asking if he's with the nonce now. It's the next day and Anna is at the bar with her mother on her second Cosmopolitan. It's like Sex and the City, except even worse. Christian emails to say he had dinner with Mrs. Robinson and that she's just an old friend. So Anna gets shit for even talking to... No, not even talking to... For boys talking to her. Like, boys talk to her. Boys she's been friends with forever. I'm not talking about Jose, I'm talking about the other ones, right? Kate's brother is friendly towards her, and Christian literally shits himself with anger every single time, but he's allowed to insist he's just old friends with a woman who he took his virginity and who he had a sexual relationship with for years. The double standards is actually sickening. Also, she's a paedophile. Anna emails him back. Did you get too old for her? Is that the reason your relationship finished? She is a straight savage. That is by far the best thing that's been said in the entire book so far. If I was Anna, I would dump him just to be chaotic. The chapter ends on a cliffhanger. Holy fuck, he's here. Chapter 23. Anna sees Christian. He is a straight up stalker. He couldn't leave her alone for more than 2 days. She was on holiday with her mother and he just had to go. I hate him. Piece of shit. Christian, this is my mother Carla. My ingrained manners take over. He turns to greet my mum. Mrs. Adams, I'm delighted to meet you. How does he know her name? How do you think? He gives her the heart-stopping Christian Grey patented full-blown no prisoners. But what a horrible sentence. I'm sorry. I'm gonna making noises with my mouth now. I hate this book so much. I'm gonna end up breaking this laptop, and I'm gonna have to do 50 Shades Darker to pay for a new one. She doesn't have a hope. My mother's lower jaw practically hits the table. Geez, get a grip, Mom. She takes his preferred hand and they shake. My mother hasn't replied. Oh, complete dumbfounded speechlessness is genetic. I had no idea. Christian, she manages finally, breathlessly. Why is she getting horny over him as well? She's like older, and it's her daughter's boyfriend. I get. Why is she getting horny? Looking at. I hate all the women in these books. Her mother, apart from Kate, she's alright. Her mother notices that they are both being stupid and she gets the waiter over. I'll have a gin and tonic, Christian says. Hendrix if you have it, or Bombay Sapphire. Cucumber with the Hendrix, lime with the Bombay. Christian is so condescending? Why is he drink-splaining his drinks order to a waiter? What waiter doesn't know that Hendrix is with cucumber and Bombay is with lime? Who doesn't? If he were my customer, I'd give him his gin with a side of spit. Anna and Christian start flirting again because she has zero backbone. Great role model. I glance quickly at Mum, who is staring at Christian. Yes, staring. Stop it, Mum. As if he's some exotic creature never before seen. I mean, I know I never had a boyfriend, and Christian only qualifies as such for ease of reference, but is it so unbelievable that I could attract a man? This man? Yes, frankly, look at him. My subconscious snaps. Oh, shut up. Who invited you to this party? I scowl at my mum, but she doesn't seem to notice. There is a lot to unpack here, but it'll just be easier to throw the whole suitcase away. So you're mad at me for having dinner with an old friend. Christian turns his burning, wary gaze to me, lifting my hands to his lips. Lifting my hand, not both hands, that'd be odd. Lifting my hand to his lips and kissing each knuckle gently. You get mad every time that Jose is mentioned, not because he sees what Jose did as assault, but just because Jose is a dude that fancies Anna. And she's not allowed to be annoyed that as soon as she's gone, you're out having dinner with this woman that used to shag for years. I feel like that's a normal reaction that a lot of people would have. So why is he trying to make her out that she's being I hate him. I think of her as a child molester, Christian. I hold my breath waiting for his reaction. Christian blanches. That's very judgmental. It wasn't like that, he whispers, shocked. He releases my hand. So I genuinely don't know how this conflict gets resolved because I haven't read the subsequent books. I don't even know if it gets resolved. But he does sound like an abuse victim trying to justify what happened to him as, no, I consented and I was up for it, even though he was clearly taken advantage of because he was very young and this woman was a lot older. However, if it ends up with Anna being like, oh no, you're right, it's cool, Mrs. Robinson was just kinky, it was fine, you did consent to it, you knew what you were doing, I will sue this entire planet for emotional damages. Because that right there, if it is resolved in that way, again, I don't know, I might just be being ignorant here, whatever. It just plays into the men can't get sexually abused by women, teenage boys can't get sexually abused by older women issue. You know, because some people genuinely do believe that, which is okay, weird. He frowns at me, bewildered. I continue. She took advantage of a vulnerable 15-year-old boy. If you had been a 15-year-old girl and Mrs. Robinson was a Mr. Robinson tempting you into a BDSM lifestyle, that would have been okay. If it was Mia, say, I mean, we could ignore the tempting into BDSM. Like, you don't need to add that in. It's just the fact that she was an older woman, like in her 30s or whatever, and he's 15. And we all know that he would shit himself with anger if Mia, his sister, had been 15 and a plus 30-year-old bloke would, I mean, it's Christian, so even a 15-year-old boy, he'd probably shit himself in anger because he's crazy. But if an older gentleman had taken advantage of her, he would then see the issue. No, don't go, please. I'm thrilled you're here. I'm just trying to make you understand. I'm angry that as soon as I left, you had dinner with her. Think about how you are whenever I get anywhere near Jose. Jose is a good friend. I have never had a sexual relationship with him. Whereas you and her, I trail off, unwilling to take that thought further. A semblance of a spine is being grown. I don't think it will last. Christian insists that Mrs. Robinson helped him by noncing him. Somehow, this was helpful. She is also one of his business partners. Why did your relationship end? His mouth narrows and his eyes gleam. Her husband found out. Holy shit. So this is just all around dysfunctional. She ended her marriage by cheating on her husband with a teenager. Sounds like a great person. I don't know what Anna's issue is. I don't think you'll ever convince me that she's not some kind of paedophile. I don't think of her that way. I never have. Now that's enough, he snaps. I don't think he wants to confront the truth because he doesn't want to see himself as some type of victim. But that is my armchair psychology. Christian decides to go, but not without putting all the drinks on his tab. As soon as he leaves, Anna is furious again. So whenever what? So I think what I'm getting from this story so far is that when she's not around him, she's always sad and mad. And then when she is around him, he's just so good looking, she forgets about being sad and mad. What? Anna's mother implores Anna that she must talk to Christian. But if she actually looks past Christian's money and looks, then she'd probably tell Anna to run to the other side of the fucking globe. Darling, don't feel you have to come back with me. I want you happy. And right now, I think the key to your happiness is upstairs in room 612. This is terrible advice. You should be satisfied in your own company before getting into a relationship. Otherwise, it could be dysfunctional if you're relying on other people for your entire happiness. You can only save yourself, yada, yada, yada. Be self-sufficient. Don't enter relationships just like chucking your baggage onto people. Anna goes to Christian's room and he's yapping on the phone about business. Anna wants to know if he loved the pedo. He says no, so she's relieved. Yeah, because that's the problem. His BlackBerry buzzes, distracting us both, and he switches it off without glancing to see who it is. My breath hitches. I know where this is going, but we're supposed to talk. He takes a step toward me, wearing his predatory, sexy look. Oh, good. Don't get anything actually resolved. Just fuck it out. What could possibly go wrong? Christian has made Anna a bath and wants to bang, but she's on her period, so he takes out her tampon for her because she's can't do anything, and then he fucks her and she orgasms in about 5 sentences. They're calm for a few minutes, and then Anna thinks about Christian's small chest scars. What is it? Christian's face is wide-eyed with alarm. Your scars, I whisper. They're not from chickenpox. I watch as in a split second he closes down, his stance changing from relaxed, calm and at ease to defensive, angry even. He frowns, his face darkening, his mouth presses into a hard, thin line. No, they're not, he snaps, but he does not elaborate further. He stands, holds his hand out for me and holds me to my feet. Don't look at me like that. His voice is colder and scolding as he lets go of my hand. Oh, good. Back to yet another mood swing as soon as he got what he wanted from her sexually. Christian says that Mrs. Robinson saved him from himself, and he feels that he can talk with her and his therapist only. I flush. Oh, I hate the spotlight on me, and it seems he's going to get angry every time we have a discussion. It's very healthy, isn't it? Anna says she doesn't feel up for being a sub, and Christian admits that Anna is not a good submissive, but decides they should continue doing it anyway, disregarding her concern. You can always use the safe word, Anastasia, don't forget that. And as long as you follow the rules, which fulfill a deep need in me for control and to keep you safe, then perhaps we can find a way forward. And then, why do you need to control me? Because it satisfies a need in me that wasn't met in my formative years. Yes, he likes BDSM because he is broken and has a broken upbringing, childhood thingamabob. Then they bang in the bath. I love this man. No, you don't. No. I love his passion, the effect I have on him. What? I love this man. I love what I do for him. What? I love that he's flown so far to see me. Of course you do, because you're a wet lettuce. I love that he cares about me. He cares. It's so unexpected, so fulfilling. He is mine. I am his. Yes, it is very romantic that he worked out exactly where you were without you telling him, and then he flew thousands of miles to find you. They chat. Christian reveals that he's had 15 women in his playroom, but he's slept with tens of women. The drama. The rest of the chat is boring and the chapter ends with them going to sleep. Chapter 24. We're in the home stretch. I can feel it. Anna has a dream about Christian trying to make her eat strawberries. Maybe her subconscious is trying to tell her something about having proper nutrition. Christian wakes her up so they can chase the dawn together. Is that like chasing the dragon? Because that is one way to make this story more interesting. The strawberry scene, it evokes my dream. To hell with Dr. Flynn. Freud would have a field day. And then he'd probably die trying to deal with 50 Shades. You're right, Freud probably would die if he tried to read this crap. They bicker over Anna not wanting to eat at 5:30 a.m. And I'm on her side here. Dr. Andrew Huberman, the neuroscientist, says that you shouldn't eat within, it's not optimal. It's just not optimal to eat within 60 minutes of waking up. That is because when you sleep, your body goes into a deeper fasted state. Autophagy, that kind of thing, helps get rid of the old rubbish in your system. So you shouldn't disturb it by waking up and immediately eating loads of Cocoa Pops. Just wait 60 minutes. So I'm on her side. 5:30, I'd feel bloated all day if I woke up at 5:30. So she decides to have some tea, and then she noticed the Twinings label, and then she over-exaggerates how happy it makes her that he notices things. I mean, it would be hard to forget after Anna's ludicrous display on how she likes to take her tea. So they go to a sports car. Sometimes it's great being me, he says. I should think so. He is, after all, a billionaire. It's from La Traviata, an opera by Verdi. Oh my. Oh, it's lovely. La Traviata? I've heard of that. Traviata. I don't know. I can't think of where. What does it mean? Christian glances at me and smirks. Well, literally, The Woman Led Astray. It's based on Alexandre Dumas' book, Yes. La Dame Orc's Cable. Christ, there is zero subtlety with the symbolism and the metaphors in this book. E.L. James really spanks you over the arse with them. Anna plays Toxic by Britney Spears, which is very Gen Z of her. Alexa, play Toxic. Christian casually mentions one of his ex-subs putting that song on his playlist. He doesn't actually listen to Britney because, I don't know, I think he wants Anna to feel jealous. Like, he's going to know the effect that's going to have on her. Well, actually, it's one of my ex-subs put that on the playlist, so, you know what I mean? Christian dumped that sub because she wanted to be more than his sex toy, and obviously this makes Anna feel so special that she's the only girl he's wanted to provide more for. I don't think that should make her feel special. I think it should make her feel a little bit grossed out that this is a dude who, like, a lot of his subs have stopped being subs because they've wanted to be more than just his little fuck toy, his little fleshlight. And he's always been like, no, because I don't want to see you as anything more than my fleshlight. I'm going to dehumanize the lot of you. It shouldn't make Anna feel special. It should make her reconsider, like, this dude that's in front of her who's in his late 20s and he's never had any form of a romantic relationship. Mrs. Robinson's real name is Eleanor, and it makes Anna think of a vampire. Blah. Christian doesn't want children, but Anna does. Neither of them should procreate. She gets pregnant one of the later books, doesn't she? And he doesn't want it, but then he's happy that they have a baby together, because if you don't want children, it will just take the right person to come along and change your mind. They go to an airfield together to go gliding. Anna meets the instructor called Benson. Likewise, he says, and I can tell from his accent, he's British. Likewise, mate, you want to get in this fucking glider or what? Mush. They go gliding, nothing to report here. Oh wait, I spoke too soon. Holy fuck, it's exciting. The plane banks and turns as the wings dip, and we spiral towards the sun. Icarus, this is it. I'm flying close to the sun, but he's with me, leading me. I gasp at the realization. We spiral and spiral, and you'd hope it would end with, and then we crash and die, but no. I hate this book. E.L. James, you do not need to tell us that Anna feels like Icarus. We already know this because you've mentioned it about 50 times. If you omitted the part of her referring to herself as Icarus, we would understand the subtext of them flying close to the sun without being implicitly told. I find it incredibly patronising that I'm not being trusted intellectually to notice symbolism and instead just need it pointed out to me every 5 minutes. Get bent. They stop gliding. I have never seen him like this, and it's a joy to behold. I find myself walking beside him, hand in hand, with a stupid, goofy grin plastered on my face. It reminds me of when I was 10 and spent the day at Disneyland with Ray. It was a perfect day, and this sure is shaping out to be the same. So, hanging out with Christian makes you feel like being a child hanging out with your father. You're right, Freud could have a field day with this. They're in the car. Anna's alarm goes off on her phone to remind her to take a conscious... Is this interesting to anyone? You know, I like to read as a little bit of a mind cleanse sometimes, what's commonly referred to as chick literature. Sophie Kinsella, the Sex and the City ones, Carrie's Diary, that one, Bridget Jones's Diary. You know, I don't recall there ever being a passage in Bridget Jones's Diary where it's like, woke up, took my morning pill today. You know what I mean? Like, why is this interesting to anyone? I don't care that you're taking your contract. Good for you. You can mention it once and then I'll just assume that you'll take it. I don't care. Alarm for my pill, I mutter as my cheeks flush. His lips quirk up. Good. Well done. I hate condoms. I flush some more. He's as patronising as ever. I don't know about you, but I sure do love it when guys patronise me. It's such a turn on. I don't see what she likes about him. But he's so patronising and condescending and rude and the worst. Then they go to IHOP, the International House of Pancakes. The action never stops around here. They debate having sex in IHOP. No one needing a fat stack of pancakes at 8 a.m. needs to see these two going at it. Like, if you're eating that many pancakes at 8 a.m., like first thing in the morning, you've probably got your own shit going on. You don't need your day ruined anymore by these two idiots. The waitress stumbles over her words when she sees Christian, because of course he does, he's just that good looking. We'll have 2 portions of the original buttermilk pancakes with maple syrup and bacon on the side. Yesterday I totally had pancakes with maple syrup and bacon. Do I have to say vegan bacon so no one's like, aha, caught you out, thought you didn't eat meat? Do you know what? Whoever came up with that, pancakes with maple syrup and bacon, I mean, they were probably hungover, but they were a bloody genius. 2 glasses of orange juice, 1 black coffee with skim milk, and 1 English breakfast tea if you have it. There was no need for me to include this other than for me to just say, God, I'm starving and this sounds good. Oh no. I finished this script a few days ago. It must have inadvertently stuck in my actual subconscious, and that's why I had bacon and pancakes yesterday. It must have. See, Anna, that's what an actual subconscious does. It doesn't let you know. It just controls you like a puppet master from the shadows. Thank you, sir. Will that be all? Leandra whispers. That's the waitress, I guess. Looking anywhere but at the two of us. We both turn to stare at her and she flushes crimson again and scuttles away. They act like such weirdos together that they've even managed to creep out the waitress. Like, the waitress of an IHOP on a morning shift. You know that she's seen some shit, man. Also, again, can my American followers please appreciate how much I know about their culture? Because there is no good reason, being English in England, that I should even know what an IHOP is, and yet I do. Everything I've learned about America has been against my will. I'm joking, please stay. You make up a good chunk of my audience. Please don't leave me, please. I've got nothing left. They're talking about their boring relationship again. Christian, let me borrow the playroom so I can strangle myself. Can I treat you? I asked Christian. Treat me how? Pay for this meal. Christian snorts. I don't think so. What is his problem? I hate him. Please, I want to. He frowns at me. Are you trying to completely emasculate me? My guy's masculinity is so fragile that he's intimidated by pancakes. God. Of course he doesn't ask me for my mother's address. He knows it already, stalker that he is. When he pulls up outside the house, I don't comment. What's the point? He's finally stalked her into submission. That's the progression of their relationship. That's the development. He stalked her into submission. You know, if he woke up tomorrow and decided to go on a killing spree, he'd easily track down and kill all of these people. Like, this man is not right. Anna talks to her mother before we are subjected to even more emails. Christian has left for all of 2 seconds and they're already sending each other emails, the codependency. He reveals that she slept talk last night and she is frustrated by this news and helps her mum cook dinner for Christian. Anna gets the job of the assistant to Jack Hyde. No surprises there, of course she did. Christian has to cancel on dinner because of work. I have a situation that I have to deal with. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll send Taylor to collect you from the airport if I can't come myself. He sounds cold, angry even, but for the first time, I don't immediately think it's me. So he's angry, and she is inadvertently telling us that she always assumes when he's angry, it's her fault or related to her somehow. And I guess she worries about it. That is really unhealthy. Anna is chilling with her mother, thinking about Christian. There seems to be a tidal shift in Christian's attitude. He denies it, but he admits he's trying for more. What could have changed? What has altered since he sent his long email and when I saw him yesterday? What has he done? I sit up suddenly, almost spilling my soda. He had dinner with her, Eleanor. Holy fuck! Christ! Please change the channel, E.L. James. Please stop making Anna freak out about everything and anything. It is tiresome. It is boring. I also know that she's probably right, and he probably did talk to Eleanor, and she was like, oh no, you should go for it with this girl. It sounds like you really like her, and he took her advice or whatever. So, I hate that a lot of this is justified within the context of the story itself. Because it's so banal. More emails. Chapter 25. Are we there yet? Are we at the end? Darling, you know what they say. You have to kiss a lot of frogs before you find your prince. Even her mother is telling her to date around a bit instead of selling her soul to the first billionaire she meets. Anna is leaving her mum. She thinks of the love her mother has for her, and then she starts thinking about Christian again. Please give it a rest, woman. It's very simple. I want his love. I need Christian Grey to love me. Emily Davison didn't get run over by a horse for this. Anna isn't sure if Christian is even capable of love because he doesn't even love himself. Which, whilst I think he's a very abusive person, it's an incredibly cliched thing to say. You can't possibly love anyone before you love yourself. Blah, blah, blah. What, so people who have bad self-esteem issues aren't deserving of loving other people? Is that what you're trying to tell me? It's just a cliche that people say unthinkingly. Other things that people say unthinkingly. Ted Bundy, intelligent and good-looking guy. Bah. Had enough. Anna emails him and he emails back, and she frowns because it sounds so clipped and formal, not his usual witty self. He's probably at work. No, he is at work, right? He works. Not 100 hours a week though. I don't believe that. But he works. Like, weirdo. Leave him alone. Anyway, now she gets anxious because he's not in a good mood. Healthy. I love it when my own moods and anxiety levels depend entirely on what another person is doing. As I mentally flick through all the scenarios that could be the situation, I become aware that once again the only empty seat is beside me. I shake my head as the thought crosses my mind that Christian might have purchased the adjacent seat so that I couldn't talk to anyone. I dismiss the idea as ridiculous. No one could be that controlling, that jealous, surely. I close my eyes as the plane taxis toward the runway. That is exactly what he's done. He could easily pass off as, no, I just don't want you to be disturbed on a flight. I want you to have, like, you know, loads of leg room. But she's in first class because of him. You just know it's so that some man doesn't sit next to her to talk to her. Taylor meets Anna at the airport. He drives her home and also won't reveal why Christian is being moody. I don't care about Christian as a person. I don't give a shit if he is happy, sad, horny, whatever. Throw him in the sea. Anna meets Christian, who is agitated and tense, but he looks fine. As in hot. Not fine as in fine. I don't think he's ever been fine in his life. They start making out. I want you now. Here. Fast. Hard. He breathes. And his hands are on my thighs, pushing up my skirt. Are you still bleeding? And she's not. She's off her period now. She had her period for like a day. Yet another unrealistic standard for women. They have sex and have a shower. Anna invites Christian to Jose's photography show and he says, okay. Why? They both want the drama, I think. Christian says he wants Anna in the playroom in 15 minutes. And also he's bought her lots of clothes, presumably so she doesn't have to wear Kate's stuff anymore. Kneeling by the door, I am naked except for my panties. My heart is in my mouth. Jeez, I thought after the bathroom he would have had enough. The man is insatiable, or maybe all men are like him. I have no idea. No one to compare him to. If only she actually had experience. This is so, I want to think wrong, but somehow it's not. It's right for Christian. It's what he wants. And after the last few days, after all he's done, what's he done? He's not done anything. He just stalked you. I have to man up and take whatever he decides he wants, whatever he thinks he needs. She feels like she owes him kinky sex because he flew across the country to go see her without her knowing about it beforehand, and then like he took her gliding. So what? Jeez, he looks so freaking hot. My subconscious is frantically fanning herself and my inner goddess is swaying and writhing to some primal, carnal rhythm. She's so ready. Awful. She wants to suck his toes. I'm saying nothing. He ties her up to the bed, blindfolds her, and noise cancels her hearing, and then uses a fur glove to touch her up. So, in the noise cancelling headphones, he's put on music for her. It's a choir singing in Latin. Couldn't be more pretentious if you tried. He starts lightly hitting her with something, and then they have sex. Sex scenes really shouldn't be this formulaic if you want to retain interest. It's like they do something a little bit and then he gets impatient, so they have sex, and then they both jizz in about 5 sentences. It's boring. How do so many people love this? God. They talk. Anna asks what she said in her sleep and Christian vague books. Chapter 26. Finally, the end is in sight. I will never do this again unless this video does really well. Anna awakens in Christian's apartment. He's playing the piano. Well, I can't sleep. He frowns once more as a trace of irritation or anger flashes across his face. With me? Surely not. Moody Christian strikes again. What was that? I asked softly. Chopin. Prelude, Opus 28, number 4, in E minor, if you're interested, he murmurs. Well, it's no Chopin Ballad number 1 in G minor, Op 23, is it? Or how about Auf dem Wasser du Singen, D774, Op 72? See, I can be neatly... I just got lightheaded and there's loads of pressure inside my head right now. I think this book is literally killing me, but I can be needlessly pretentious too. So they talk. Anna wants to discuss the contract. Christian thinks the contract is a moot point. It's like a cow's opinion. It doesn't matter. It's just moo. Except in the playroom. I want you to follow the spirit of the contract in the playroom, and yes, I want you to follow the rules all the time. Then I know you'll be safe, and I'll be able to have you anytime I wish. And if I break one of the rules, then I'll punish you. But when you need my permission, yes, I will. And if I say no, he gazes at me for a moment with a confused expression. If you say no, you'll say no. I'll have to find a way to persuade you. Ah, yes, that famous saying, no means not until I can manipulate you. Christian gives Anna the rules. A few of them are crossed out, but it's literally just the rules from before, copy and pasted, really trying to get to some sort of page count. And then they chase each other around the apartment for fun, I hasten to add. Anyone would think you didn't want me to catch you. I don't, that's the point. I feel about punishment the way you feel about my touching you. His entire demeanour changes in a nanosecond. Gone is playful Christian, and he stands staring at me as if I slapped him. He's ashen. That's how you feel, he whispers. Those 4 words and the way he utters them speak volumes. Oh no. They tell me so much more about him and how he feels. They tell me about his fear and loathing. Fear and loathing in Seattle. I frown. No, I don't feel that bad. No way. Do I? Sorry, but how in the flying fuck is he having this reaction as if it's brand new information that Anna doesn't like punishment, doesn't like pain? For someone who remembers really mundane details about her, he sure does have a lapse in memory when it's convenient for him to get something he wants. I want to hurt you, but not beyond anything that you couldn't take. Fuck. Why? He runs his hands through his hair. He shrugs. I just need it. He pauses, gazing at me with anguish, then closes his eyes and shakes his head. I can't tell you, he whispers. Can't or won't? Won't. Right, so he has his reasons, but he won't tell her, and he just expects her to accept it because he needs it. What he needs, Charlie, is a good kick in the pants. Don't leave me. You said you wouldn't leave me, and you begged me not to leave you. In your sleep, he murmurs against my lips. What manipulation is this? Oh, you said something in your sleep. So what? So fucking, who cares? Please don't leave me. You said you weren't. Please, I just want to hit you a bit, even though you hate it. Wee. This is a man in need. It's not deep, it is just sex. His fear is naked and obvious, but he's lost somewhere in his darkness. His eyes are wide and bleak and tortured. I can soothe him, join him briefly in the darkness, and bring him into the light. The forced martyrdom is breathtaking. I've never seen an author reach so hard to try to get some form of stakes in such a boring... Oh, I just worked out why I keep getting lightheaded. I'm just, all the blood's rushing to my brain. I want to headbutt this laptop. Anna says, show me how much it can hurt so I know how bad it can get. I'll show you how bad it can be and you can make your own mind up. He pauses by the door. Are you ready for this? I nod, my mind made up, and I'm vaguely lightheaded. Me too. Faint as all the blood leaves my face. Guys, I don't think she's ready for this. Christian begins hitting her ass with a belt. 3, tears spring unwelcome into my eyes. Geez, this is harder than I thought. So much harder than the spanking. He's not holding anything back. 4, I yell as the belt bites me again, and now the tears are streaming down my face. I don't want to cry. It angers me that I am crying. He hits me again. 5, my voice is more a choked, strangled sob, and in this moment I think I hate him. One more I can do. My backside feels as though it's on fire. This is clearly not the sound of someone being okay with being hit by a belt. In this situation, he should stop and check to see if she is okay. She has never done anything like this before. She is crying. She is clearly in a lot of pain. She hates pain as well. Added context, she doesn't want to do this type of BDSM, but he keeps on going. And don't give me any shit about, oh, well, she should use a safe word. She is entirely new to this stuff. She's never had to use safe words before. In this situation where, like, you're getting hit that hard and you don't like it, there's probably, like, some sort of adrenaline spike. It's probably just not at the forefront of her mind right now. She's probably only thinking about the pain. And she's probably panicking a little bit as well. If he was an actual decent dom, he would stop and make sure that she's okay. But no, he has to get his little kicks out of it, so he has to keep going until it's 6 or 10 or I can't remember how long it is. Don't touch me, I hiss. I straighten and stare at him, and he's watching me as if I might bolt, eyes wide, bemused. I dash the tears angrily out of my eyes with the back of my hands, glaring at him. He's bemused by her reaction. She calls him a fucked up son of a bitch, which is the best thing she's done so far besides the nonce thing, and we only had to go 500 pages to see it, to see a tiny bit of backbone. And then she walks out, leaving him shocked. I don't understand how he's shocked. He knows she doesn't like pain. She walks back to her room and cries. What a monumental wake-up call. And to be fair to him, he warned me time and time again. He's not normal. He has needs that I cannot fulfill. She's justifying him somewhat because she's already trapped in an abusive headspace when it comes to him and their relationship. He might have warned her, but he is also the one who stalked her constantly, followed her around, tracked her phone, flew thousands of miles across the country to see her, manipulated her to get his own way every single time, fucks her into submission at any given possibility. So he might have told her otherwise, but it's been shown throughout the text that he doesn't want to leave her alone. I hate him, he's a terrible character. Oh, his distraught look as I left. I was so cruel, shocked by the savagery. Will he forgive me? Will I forgive him? Why is she concerned about him after this has just happened? Maybe a day later you'll be like, oh no, his fate. Not like right there in the moment when you're in pain and you've got adrenaline spiking and you're panicking a bit and you're upset and you're crying. Like, where is going to be the headspace to be like, oh no, poor Chris. Like, this is so unrealistic. Like, humans don't act like this. Or if they do, they don't have a backbone and they're simping. Like, get away from him. I hear the door click open. Oh no, he's here. He can't give her space, ever. He puts something down on the bedside table and the bed shifts under his weight as he climbs in behind me. Can't leave her alone for more than 5 fucking minutes. Hush, he breathes, telling her what to do still. And I want to pull away from him, move to the other side of the bed, but I'm paralysed. I cannot move and lie stiffly. Not yielding at all. Don't fight me, Anna, please, he whispers. Gently, he pulls me into his arms, burying his nose in my hair, kissing my... I hate him. I hate him so much. It's so, like, she doesn't want to be near you. She's paralysed because she's shocked by what's happened, and he's just forcing himself... He has zero respect for her privacy. And he's trying to love bomb her right now. Forcing, like, her to be right next to him, even though that's the last thing she probably wants right now. And it's never going to be treated as such in the text that he's being... So many words that I can't say because I don't want this video to get demonetized. They lie together for a few hours and then she starts pining over how breathtakingly good looking he is. And then she says sorry. She says sorry to him. I hate this book. I hate that this book told millions of impressionable people that Christian is romantic and sexy and mysterious and oh, it's broken, that's why he's the way he is. Ooh. Anna says she can't be what he needs and he's like, I'm no good for you, and I'm like, both of you can do one. Anna says she's fallen in love with him and he's like, no, I'm wrong for you. Both of them are idiots. I hate both of them. But you do make me happy, I frown. Not at this moment, not doing what I want to do. Holy fuck, this really is it. This is what it boils down to, incompatibility. And all those poor subs come to mind. We'll never get past that, will we? I whisper, my scalp prickling in fear. He shakes his head bleakly. I close my eyes. I cannot bear to look at him. Well, I'd better go then, I murmur, wincing as I sit up. No, don't go, he sounds panicked. There is no compromise with Christian, is there? He enjoys vanilla sex with Anna. They do a few kinky things together that she enjoys. They also enjoy genuinely, somehow, oh god. They enjoy spending time with each other for some fucking reason. They enjoy being around each other. They enjoy like the coupley stuff that they've done so far, right? So there's a whole like 90 to 95% of their relationship that has nothing to do with this side, right? That is enjoyable for the both of them for whatever fucking reason. But because he can't cause her real physical pain, he cannot see them working out for something that's going to amount to about 5 to 10% of their relationship realistically. He's placing one part, not his sex life, but one part of it, because they do other stuff that they enjoy together, right? And both get off with. So he's putting one part of his sex life completely above just being in a whole relationship with Anna. Wow, the dehumanization is shocking. It says it all, doesn't it, though? Sex is an important part of a relationship. But at the end of the day, if you love someone, then that would trump the rest of it, surely. Like, if you love someone, your love for them is going to trump the rest. Not, oh, I love you, but I can't be with you because you don't let me punch you in the face during sex. I like all the other stuff we do, though, but, you know, just this one little thing. Get a punching bag, yeesh. Like, plenty of people have likes, dislikes, and kinks when it comes to sex, right? And you might be with someone where everything else is great, but there's one thing that they're not into, so you just don't do. And it's not like I don't see how, like, this one little facet of their relationship is such a deal breaker to this extent. I don't know, I give up. I hate both of them and I hate it here. She decides to leave, effectively dumping him. She goes for a shower and she turns into a robot whilst doing so. I don't know why I wrote that. I think the text just got really robotic. I stoop to shut my suitcase and the bag holding Christian's gift catches my eye. A model kit for a Blahnik L23 glider, something for him to build. Tears threaten. Oh no, happier times when there was hope of more. It was literally like 2 days ago. They're really trying to push on us that this is like a 10-year long relationship or something. Like, they've only known each other for about a month or two. Like, you'll get over it, it's alright. Like, you know, when you're 14 and you get into your first, like, boyfriend, right? Your first relationship with someone. And you're like, OMG, it's going to be us forever. Like, da-da-da and da-da-da forever, right on the table at school, whatever. And then you break up after a month or so. And then you're like, oh, I'm so heartbroken. And then you grow up and you don't even think about it because it was nothing. This is Anna's, like, baby's first relationship. You'll be over it, it's fine. She's just mourning that he's a billionaire. I take it out of the case knowing that I need to give it to him. Why do you need to? You don't need to do anything. Quickly, I rip a small piece of paper from my notebook, hastily scribble a note for him and leave it on top of the box. This reminded me of a happy time. Thank you, Anna. What a loser. She should have smashed the gift up and then told him to shove the splinters up his ass. Anna finds Christian yelling on the phone about nothing. She requests the money Taylor got from selling her Beetle car. Christian tries to force her to take the stuff, take the presents, whatever, but then he yields and he writes her a check. Christian insists on Taylor driving her home. That's fine, I can get myself home, thank you. I turn to stare at Christian and I see the barely contained fury in his eyes. Are you going to defy me at every turn? He's still talking as though she is his sex toy. You don't get to treat people like this. They say goodbye. I suppose I'm meant to care, but I just feel the same as Christian's balls. Empty and limp from a disgusting experience. Anna is feeling ashamed. Not because she dated a billionaire, but because she thinks she's a failure for not changing her skin sensitivity and adapting to being smacked with a belt. As we head onto 4th Avenue, I stare blankly out of the window and the enormity of what I've done slowly washes over me. Shit, I've left him. The only man I've ever loved. The only man I've ever slept with. What if I told you, if you meet different people and date around, you will find someone else to love? It's not magic. It's biochemistry. There's 8 billion people on Earth and at least a few thousand billionaires. Spread your wings, you'll be fine, trust me. Anna just decides to cry instead and goes home to a deflated helicopter balloon, and I am done. I feel like that deflated balloon is a metaphor of how I feel right now. I will definitely not continue the series unless this video gets a ton of likes and views. Otherwise, it's not worth it for my sanity and mental health. Thank you and good night. And here is an afterword by E.L. James. To my husband Neil, thank you for tolerating my obsession, being a domestic god, and doing the first edit. You're telling me that not only did this actually get edited, it got edited several times? Impossible. And we got through it, we did it, we got there in the end, we did it together. I'm so proud of all of us and the community we've built. Thank you so much for watching me lose my brain cells over this awful book. Remember to like, dislike, comment with the engagement, subscribe to our podcast channel. Trying to get to 200k on this one. Thank you to Undead World for sponsoring today's video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.